That is some fire intro music. How about that? Shout out to Spy Hunter 2 on the PS2 with that awesome theme. So hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the 50th episode of Gamer Quotient Gaming Academy. It is our technically our 1 year anniversary. We released this podcast about a year ago, and we're still here. We're still crushing it. So, if you guys were on this journey this whole time, fantastic. I love it. Love your support. We appreciate you showing up in chat, kind of sharing your thoughts, hanging out with us in our Discord, kind of just being part of this community. So very happy, very excited to do more for you guys. But tonight, it isn't just any original class here. This is the 50th episode of Gaming Academy, our 1 year anniversary special. And for a whole year, we've been grinding the XP together. From breaking down gaming history to diving into rumors to shining a spotlight on the quirks of gaming culture. And just like in every RPG, tonight marks the end of our first run and the beginning of what I call the new game plus. Now, we've stacked a syllabus to celebrate. Ace is bringing the heat as always with the tech. We're going to hit the archives with This Week in Gaming History. Nick's got the latest and quick bites in the rumor mill, just like, when we started in the beginning. And of course, we'll wrap it up in a special anniversary edition of the final boss, New Game Plus. So guys, grab your textbooks, sharpen your pencils, and let's level up together because Class 50 starts now tonight. With that said, happy Tuesday, everybody. Let's introduce the faculty for tonight to know, why wait? Just throw everybody out here. Come on out, guys.
Damn. Why wait?
Why wait? Come on out. Come on out,
yeah.
y'all.
The big 5-0.
I have a Kool-Aid Man video just going through the whole.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be cool. Some things to do in season 2. So guys, it's been a year. And it went by super quick in my opinion, but how has it been for you guys? I guess what's your thoughts on this whole year?
I mean, I'm right there with you. It feels like it's went by in a blink, but looking back, you actually managed to cover a lot.
Yeah, a lot. And we tried a bunch of different things out too, which is a lot of fun, and met a lot of new people in chat, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we have over 50 episodes. We got a few study sessions in there that don't count as an episode, right? We've had a variety of different guests on the show, and hopefully they come back next year. And hopefully they have us on their channel. I know that No Shoes, Jace from No Shoes, wants us to be a guest on his playthrough sometimes, and that'd be super fun to collaborate with those guys. So
yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, we have our own Bellingham crew of nerd streamers, I guess. So
I'll be honest, man. Like the whole reason I wanted to get on this and be a part of it with you two was just the best parts of the industry for me as I was working in it for so long was really the people in it and the community that kind of comes from it. Spending a lot of time in the stores, just talking about games and what people love, what they're interested in. Like that experience has always been like the forefront of my mind of like what I enjoy about the industry, just sharing those experiences and hearing what other people like. So this has been a great cathartic release for me, just to not only talk to you two, but the people in chat about their memories growing up, the nostalgia we feel for certain titles, being reminded of some utter trash that we used to play too. Like it's fantastic. And I'm just glad that our own little tiny community here, will only grow, but just hearing more from people.
Yeah, it's like going to the store and you look down the cereal aisle and you see that old sugar sawdust you used to eat back when you were a kid, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, just kind of going like, I'm an adult, but I still really want to buy that box of Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah. Well, you had Fruity Pebbles. I had colored rocks.
Oh yeah, no. My parents were all about we bought brand names. We didn't have the offshoots there on the south side. We didn't have the Fruity Rocks or anything like that.
Colored stones.
Yeah, we didn't get a choice.
Smackers.
Yeah, exactly. They come in the big sack, right? I just wanted to share with you guys, and also whoever's in chat right now. Shout out to anybody watching us at the moment. It was really fun just going back into time. Like one of my favorite segments is This Week in Gaming History, because we talk about games that have been released, and me being able to like just go back, oh man, I played Maximum Carnage, this is the song, and like, you know, the red cartridge, like stuff like that, and finding out, reliving those moments with like those ads that we put up, like the commercials, and some of the stuff I didn't know about Sega, you know, because like Nick would bring it up because he had the Sega, I had the Super Nintendo, so it was just really cool to like live through that again. So
Yeah, and I know that going into, the next season, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Some of the stuff that it's taken that next step. Like we have talked at length about a lot of the games that we love and how they shaped us. But there's plenty of content creators on YouTube who've done that step beyond that I kind of want to highlight, where we talk about developers or publishers or teams or series that are part of our histories as well. Like
yeah.
I've mentioned it before, but I'd love to be able to sit down and talk about like Sierra Online or Borderbund, like the
Oh my
games
god.
that they
Yeah.
made, the like logos that pop up, the instant nostalgia wave I get. Westwood Studios, that's something in
Yeah.
season 2 that I want to talk about because that was essential to like me growing up playing games and getting me into the industry.
I mean, that could be a segment like lost games, like studios lost in time, you know, like
Yeah,
when was the last time we heard from Culture Brain or Jalico,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That might be something. Maybe we do that depending. Chat, let us know. But maybe that's something we do bi-weekly where we highlight a game studio from the past and
Yeah, that'd be fun.
talk a little bit about it because I mean we keep mentioning something like Avalanche being shut down and like some of the more recent stuff just happening. Monolith, sorry, not Avalanche.
Oh
Um,
man.
but Monolith being
Don't make me remember.
yeah, like those are a little more recent, but just even some of the older ones,
Yeah.
and the weird like studios that are still around somehow, some way, in a different form as part of like a
Like an
part
old
of
crew.
some
Yeah.
like beast of EA or Activision.
right? Or
Yeah.
certain spots making a comeback like Acclaim.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or like you know, Kamio leaving Clover, making, you know, and then some people leaving it's was that?
Yeah,
It's no
Itsuno,
leaving. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
Itsuno leaving
Amazon
Capcom and
Studios.
going over to
There's pieces
Lightspeed.
moving around, man. Our industry's changing rapidly. So
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's just, I can say that's all just history now. So let's get in here and talk about this week in gaming history about that.
This week.
All right, guys, let's hit the books with this week in gaming history. Here we look back at legendary releases, forgotten gems, and milestones that shaped the gaming industry, all falling on this exact week. This week is September 21st all the way to the 27th, from Sunday through Saturday. First up, we got ourselves the bad boy of fighting 3D fighting games. Tekken was released in September 21st, 1994 in the arcades. This is where it all started. Oh boy. Before we I start talking about Tekken, what are your guys' first experience with Tekken? Like, did you discover it in an arcade walking by? Did you play it at your buddy's house on his PlayStation? Like what are your stories?
Yeah, my first time, my first time discovering Tekken was actually in an arcade. I remember it was one of the two back-to-back summers where I got stuck in Vegas. But
That sounds like a story for another time too. I got to hear about that. Jeez.
brother, you have no idea. But one of those summers, we actually stopped on the we actually were coming out of California and we stopped on the border at the border casinos in Prim, Nevada. And it was the Prima Donna Casino we stopped by. And on the way to one of the roller coasters, I saw a Tekken arcade cab. And I was like, Tekken? Yeah, what was that? And then I walk over, and this is literally the attract mode, the screen. Like, this is literally the first thing I ever saw at Tekken right here was Kazuya
Yeah.
fighting Paul. And I'm like, not quite Ken and Ryu. What the what?
Yeah, one's wearing red, one was wearing white. Yeah, I
Mhm.
understand. Yeah,
Like
I
I
understand the visual.
yeah, that was my immediate thought. But I put in a couple quarters. I figured, you know what? Why not? Let's see what this is all about. And that's when I actually got to see like the roster and my my two baby boys from all the way back, Law and Yoshimitsu.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like those were the first two that I started with, and like I've basically stuck with Law from the start.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually very similar to that. Mine was Law, because Bruce Lee, right? 100% why
Yeah.
we pick Law. And then Kazuya, because he was like the Ryu of the game, right? He was like main character energy,
Mhm.
right? Little did I know he's a POS, he's a bad guy. but like I was just like main character, sweet.
Oh,
Right?
we were not prepared.
We were not prepared for that twist. I definitely saw this at a Namco station. You guys remember Namco stations?
Yeah.
So Namco stations are like Namco arcades. They're like mini arcades that have sit down machines. In America, by the way, not like in Japan. Some malls had it. I think this one mall north of Chicago called in Norridge had a Namco station, and it would the number one arcade we played there was Marvel 2. Like everybody, like after school, 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Everybody would be there. My buddy and I had to take a bus to go there. It took us 45 minutes, but that's where all the kids hung out after school and like fought each other. That's how you
Yep.
made friends and enemies, right? So, but they had Tekken over there, right? And I was like, oh, cool, like 3D fighting game. At first, I was like, oh, it's just another Virtua Fighter, right? And it just felt different. Like it felt like the hits were more impactful than Virtua Fighter, because Virtua Fighter has this like really rushed down, like very soft when it hits you, right? It doesn't have the sparks. At least I don't remember.
Mhm.
But Tekken was more visceral when it came to like the sound effects and like the punches, and that's kind of what stood out for me because I wasn't a fan of like the moon jumping. Right, this had moon jumping like that because I was a jumper in a 2D fighting game, right? So this is all new to me. Same thing with Virtua Fighter. I wasn't a fan of it at the time, but
Yeah.
over the time I got used to it, and not until Tekken 2, I think, I really enjoyed Tekken. So
The beeps are still going.
it,
I
it's
need
it's
to
it's CG, it's AI, not real.
edit in post.
Yeah.
I think like most of us, we saw this in arcade. I actually didn't get a chance to see this in arcades till much later. Whatever arcades we talked before, like the arcade machines that I had around me were more so Neo Geos. Um, I didn't have Tekken Cab around me until much later when I was living on Whidbey and in middle school. I remember one of my favorite pizza joints on the south side of Whidbey Island had Tekken 3, and I remember getting really into that. But that was my first real experience with Tekken because I didn't
Mhm.
have a PS1. All of us that could only afford one console, like like we talked about, I didn't have a PlayStation. I just never did. So yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get to see Tekken until 3, and then I found out about all them before them. But by that time, like, King was my guy, so I just
Mm,
kept going with that.
got it. Yeah, I remember.
Speaking of
Go ahead.
this though, like, just gotta say, I think Tekken 1 still has the best cover art of all the Tekkens. Like, looking at the later ones, they're definitely, like, of the era. Feel free to fight me on that. There's something about this OG, a little bit jank 3D that they
Like
have
the
the
like the
rip
pyramid. They call it the pyramid.
pyramid with
Yeah.
the big
What I don't get is like why is Jack like this ominous figure in the back?
Yeah, right?
Why
I'm like,
not?
what?
He's just
You
got
know?
that aura.
Yeah, I figured it would be like Heihachi because he's like the last guy, right? But no, it's just
Actually, I don't
Jack.
mind the Tekken 7 cover, but
Yeah.
I think the OG one is still probably my favorite looking at that lineup.
I like
I mean,
4, but you know why I like 4, right? Go ahead,
Did
I
you
Nick.
mean that's
see
that's
oh,
just
I
it
w
though. That classic lineup, right?
Yeah,
Because it's like
the
it
World
really gives you
Warriors.
a good look at how far the series has come since the start.
So, are you talking about the Tekken 4 cover art for the US release or the international PAL release? Because the
Let's
international
see.
PAL one's got some aura going too, speaking of.
For Pal, I've never seen the Pal one.
Okay.
Oh, is it the one where he's standing up?
He's standing, it's got the lightning in the background.
Like
That one?
Kazuya with the sunglasses? Or is that
That's
different?
that's kind of baller though.
Right? I think that's a little bit better
Yeah.
than the US one we got.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I like the other one. Because the other one is the go back to the other one, that one's the arcade marquee. That's what they use.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I didn't like Jin as a character in 3 because I thought he was just like Kazuya. We have Kazuya at home, right? And 4, I was like, they reinvented the character and they gave him this look. And like the lore of the story is like he wants
Sweet
revenge.
flames, dude. Look at the
You know,
flame jumper.
I
Look
was
at
just
this
like,
guy.
dude, this is how you create a comeback character. That's crazy. I
Seriously.
was sold after that. I was like, Jin's my dude ever since like 4. 4 games in, I'm still playing Jin, even though he's bad at like 5 and 6. So, all right. All right. Well, I could talk about Tekken all day, but let's go to the other games that were released this day. Well, for you guys, for you old men out there, old men and women like myself, Super Breakout came out in the arcade in 1978. That's like the Pong that you hit the bricks with. And speaking of bricks, Tetris 2 also came out on the NES in 1993 in Japan. Katamari Damacy on the PS2 2004. We talked about this coming out in Japan. Mega Man X Command Mission on the GameCube and PS2 in 2004. That's awesome. I mean, I love to see a remake, a remaster of that.
Yes.
Speaking of Capcom, Monster Hunter 2 coming out for the first time in the US on 2004 on the PS2. And then X-Men Legends on the GameCube and PS2, Xbox in 2004. My favorite era. I love the trio fighting for domination. And Lost Judgment coming out on the PS4, PS5, and Xbox One in 2021. That's a pretty decent day. That's not bad for a Sunday.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
And I
not
mean,
bad.
like, just, since I didn't even, because I slept so hard earlier, I didn't get a chance to get around to marking any of the games I wanted to talk about. But X-Men Legends, though, like, this was already an era where Marvel had some killer games on the home consoles, right? Stuff,
Yeah.
especially stuff like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. But with X-Men Legends, when you got that solid, that Diablo style action RPG,
Mm-hmm.
it was great being able to, kind of start the game as Magma as you're like, going through the Xavier Institute, and, meeting all the other characters, and then, going out on the different missions. But like the series of games that kickstarted was just, it was absolutely stellar. And I still say to this day, X-Men Legends and Legends 2, absolute favorites.
Pretty
But I'm
good.
very much enjoying Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yes. I mean, all of them are pretty good. And as you say, like Andre Venom 95 in chat is saying that, Marvel in the 2000s was cooking, and they were still a comic book company. They weren't an MCU yet, right? And then Jago said, they were still reeling from the bankruptcy. Like that's why they got bought out to make sure that they survived. And they eventually started making movies like, in the 2010s or whatever. So, and you're right. X-Men Legends 1, X-Men Legends 2 all eventually branched off to like other games like, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which I think is should be quoted as an inspiration for the Marvel Avengers game, because if you look at it philosophically on paper, it's the exact same game, just prettier, and it's like 3D models, but the method of the game is exactly the same. So,
I can see that.
yeah, no, that's what I tell people. Is like, honestly, if you like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, like Marvel Avengers is like the same, like in concept. It's just like a different game, like but you still go to room beating up stuff, right? And you have co-op stuff with your partners and stuff. Yeah, it's
All
all
right. Speaking of no shoes,
wow. Speaking of devil, he shall appear.
good
Hey,
to see you, man.
Good to see you, buddy. Good
Wouldn't
to
be
see
an
you.
anniversary without me breaking my breaker.
Oh, is that already happening? Dang.
Yeah, apparently. We're just
More
so
things to do, more
charged
they
with
stay the
number
same.
50, my boys.
All right. Speaking of what's to come here, Nick, this is all you, man. On the 22nd, Halo 3 ODST on the PC and 360 in 2009. I wanted to give this a shout out because of Helldivers.
Yes.
They made it back in some way or form on a Sony platform. That's crazy. But to be fair, Helldivers is now available on Xbox, so that's amazing as well. So, yeah, welcome back, boys. Welcome to the front lines. What is everybody thought? Everyone's thought hearing this news of Halo 3 ODST. One on Helldivers, but originally this was not technically Master Chief you're playing. So what was everyone's thought about this too when this was announced? And you're like, whoa, you're not Master Chief. What's this about?
The fact that it wasn't Master Chief is actually like one of those things that really took me by surprise. Because I mean, even though I hadn't played it much, the little bits of time that I spent playing Halo and Halo 2, especially my friends that had Xboxes, like I had a lot of fun, and I saw Halo 3 was doing it big, and then ODST comes out, and it's like, what? It's not Master Chief. They're actually branching out, and that alone caught my interest because I wanted to see how they were expanding on Halo with this, with this different set of heroes.
Yeah. Now that was kind of my thing too. I was kind of shocked. I was like, who is this? Not is this one? I was like, is this like a DLC episode? Like, back in the day when you buy Doom and then you can get the expansion to Doom, like in the old PC games. I
Mhm.
thought this was an add-on to Halo 3, not its own game. I had to be like, well, what Nick was saying, like when you work at a game store, people educate you on stuff that you don't know, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a different crew. It's not Master Chief. You're an orbital drop shock trooper. That's what ODSC stood for. So, you know.
If you don't mind sharing the screen while we're talking about this, I want to play the reason I fell in love with this game, which was the live action trailer they did for the ad campaign for ODST.
Mm.
Still to this day, probably my favorite piece of Halo media ever. And I was a big fan of like the Halo 3 Believe campaign that they did for that, but ODST gets you into it. And this is still fantastic to this day. This is like the live action we should have got. Like this feeling of being the shock trooper, what it means. It is awesome. Absolutely amazing. Whatever they were doing to market this time, firing on all cylinders. So I was definitely part of that crew after playing Halo 1, 2, and 3. I was like, I don't know if I want to play a game without Master Chief. I know they're trying to like do some different stories in there. They want to get out of that and kind of get, you know, unstuck from being only in, Master Chief's boots. I was hesitant at first, but I dug the vibe kind of running around the city at dark, being the shock trooper, being a normal like soldier. They really like leaned into it. Also, it has Nathan Fillion doing one of the main voices of Buck, who ends up showing up again as a Spartan in Halo 5. So it was kind of a cool like through line, right?
Okay.
So I loved the writing in it. It was a lot of fun, but for me, it was all about the multiplayer modes. Kind of, I don't remember how many hours I spent on this game, but ODST really got me into wanting to learn more about Halo as a whole.
Mm.
It reminded me of that time in gaming when you really had to go outside of the video games to get more of the story because there was so much like extra media being
Yeah.
made, right? The books, the comic books, the little side stuff, the stuff that annoyed me about Destiny having to have an app for the story. I was happy to do for Halo, so that's me being, like definitely hypercritical a little bit, but if you wanted to follow up with, you could. But like I said, seeing this trailer, man, that's what sold me on it. It nailed the vibe right away. It got you interested in it, and it really made you feel about being, a regular soldier, not the super soldier we knew. So I thought they did pretty well.
No, this is cool. And I think it's a good what do you call it, exploration of the world of Halo. Like it's not just about Master Chief. Like there's other stuff happening outside of his, environment, right? Like this is like the lore, like expansive lore to the Halo universe, which is cool. Um, and yeah, and I think like these guys coming back in Helldivers, I think this should ignite a little bit of interest back into Halo. I because like we have to think about it, we're kind of catering to a whole new generation of gamers, right? So they're probably seeing this as a dated first person shooter. They don't understand the lore. They just see it as it is what it is.
Mhm.
But like, why did we fall in love with these games, right? Because we like the world, we like the gameplay, we like the characters. So hopefully those guys can kind of like revisit those and see these games in our eyes again, like as another chance.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's been said multiple times, but Halo really, or sorry, Microsoft really dropped the ball with like Halo, with Helldivers doing as well as it was, not
Yeah.
having an ODST version out sooner of their
Yeah.
own. Like, absolutely should have. Super happy it's in there now that Era had brought that together and worked with them and got that into the game. It's super cool, but it's like, man, just seeing what we could have had, kind of thing. It was such like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's like, why not? Like, and I think instead we got Halo Wars, right? Because RTS were still kind of,
Which is,
interesting at
those
the
are
time.
great games
Yeah.
too. Like if you haven't played them, if you're a fan of RTSs at all, those ones were great. And it started highlighting some of the things that I had issues with how Microsoft was handling the entire franchise. Because a lot of the like really cool stories or characters that they had in Halo Wars, basically you had to play Halo Wars to get some of the stuff they were calling back to in like 5
Mhm.
and bringing up these characters or things that happen. You're like, well, if you didn't play the game, you don't quite get it. It wasn't a complete like drop the ball moment, but it was just one of those times where it's just like it felt like a disconnect. It's like you could have done so much better with this.
Yeah.
You could have done. There's so many cool things that just, meh.
Like you said, drop ball,
Yeah.
right? All right. Other games that came out on the 22nd. Well, RE3 Nemesis on the PlayStation in 1999 in Japan. Mega Man 9 coming out of the Wii in 2008. Final Fantasy 14 Online, not the Realm Reborn. This is the first iteration that had to be put on pause because of how bad it was in 2010. And then Dark Souls began its release on the PS3 in 2011 in Japan. And just recently released yesterday, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds on the PS5 and Xbox Series X in 2025 this year. And it's actually getting better reviews across the board than Mario Kart World. So
Look,
that's a
I think part of it right there, definitely they owe that success to their ad campaign. Bringing back
what was the ad?
bringing back the Sonic, the Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I think that's good. And also, man, Mario Kart needs a competitor. They need like well, we talk about in the show all the time, competition breeds innovation, right?
mhm.
So I think Sega going, well, we'll make our own Mario Kart with Sega characters all over the place, and we'll kind of capitalize on the nostalgia of the kart series,
How
right?
much are they charging for that game?
Oh, is it 49 or 59? Let me
Let me
check.
double check real quick.
Man, because honestly, if it's plays a little bit, even as solid, but it's that much cheaper, it's like, bro.
Let's see. Crossworlds is currently going for drumroll, please.
Here.
Perfect. Okay, I'm looking it up on Steam right now, and it's actually going for 69.
Okay,
Okay, so it's standard pricing right
standard
I'd buy that for $1.
now. All right.
or 70.
But,
Um,
but however, there is a demo.
Oh, there you go.
it's not a $10 tech demo that we need to buy.
No,
Dude,
it's not a $10 tech
that-
demo, and apparently one of the characters that I forget whether he's on the main roster or whether he's going to be coming in like DLC later, but Ichiban's going to be a racer.
Of course.
I mean, Ichiban's
gotta
a
get him
Dave the Diver. He's in
Yeah,
everything.
that's true. That's true.
That was the
But
last person.
also, shout out to firefight mode before we leave
Yeah.
Halo 3 in the dust, because that was one thing I could not stop playing.
It's not too late. That's all I gotta say. Like, I feel like right now a resurgence for Halo ODST or whatever Halo, but like in a Helldiver style. I still think they can pull it off if they're willing to take that risk.
I at this point I would imagine just license out, do a crossplay against them with Arrowhead, where maybe they have a fourth like enemy come
Mm,
in, and it's
yeah.
the Covenant.
Oh my dude, don't even get my I'm not even a Halo fan and I'm getting excited like
Right?
thinking about that. That's so cool. Like
Just imagine right around that, like brutes are popping up.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think
Jackals
they'd
are
be great
sniping
guest
you.
characters. Yeah, guest characters for oh my god, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
even like just for like a season, even like that'd be really really cool.
Oh,
Still less than Mario Kart World accurate.
yeah, that's the shocking part.
All right. That's scary. All right. Speaking of a blast in the past, we got our old boy Gauntlet coming back on 2014, coming out on PC, then eventually coming out on the consoles as well, PS4, I think Xbox One also. So, have you guys ever played this version of Gauntlet? Like, this game is amazing. I love this game.
I
No,
did
I
play
haven't.
it, but
Yeah.
that was after you and I had talked about it, because this was like you said, man, 2014 when this came out.
Yeah.
Like, because I loved the 64 version of Gauntlet.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's great.
loved
Dark
it.
Legacy. Yeah, I love
Right.
Dark
So
Legacy.
that was the whole reason I wanted like Gauntlet to relive its glory days was from this game.
Yeah. If if they were gonna think about making a remake of a game, I would say Dark Legacy would be a great remaster to come back, like 60 frames per second. I want the original like narrator too. Like I love that voice, like Red Wizard. It's so like it's Gauntlet. You can't have anything else without that
That's
voice.
that's like having
Red
the
Wizard needs food.
yep.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like having the announcer come back for KI or having Tim
Yeah,
Kitzrow come back for
exactly.
NBA Jam.
Exactly. Like it's like part of the game itself. But yeah, it's pretty true to form from the standard old school game. Like it's definitely more of like the old school, not Dark Legacy. And they also did Seven Sorrows, which is like a God of War type game as well. But this is kind of more this is like a remake of the OG Gauntlet. Done right, in my opinion. This is guess what? Arrowhead Studios. They did Helldivers. So they know their audience, they know their games. They probably did research on like what made Gauntlet fun, and they kind of capitalized on it. So I believe in them as a dev. I even
I can see that.
they made Helldivers 1 after this too. So I can see where that came from as well. So pretty cool. All right, you guys have any stories on Gauntlet? I told you guys in chat, Gauntlet was my accidental first game on Nintendo. So just because my cousin had it or my stepbro had it.
Oh yeah, like I haven't played it much since Dark Legacy, but well, let's see, since Dark Legacy and of course since the arcade port for Dark Legacy. But yeah, Gauntlet was one of the earlier games I played on the NES as well. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what's crazy? I think if they were to remake Gauntlet now, I think it'd be like um what is that? Vampire Survivors.
Oh, if not that, if they don't go old school with it, I'd say
Yeah.
it would be a roguelike.
Oh, that too. And that's actually
that
more acceptable of a theory than mine, you know?
Well, just
So
kind of looking at it reminds me a lot of just like a older version of like what Hades eventually kind of was.
yeah. Yeah,
Hades
you're
being
right.
a little bit more active, but
Yeah.
that's what I could see them doing with it. Like
Matter of
I'm
fact,
vibing with that.
I'd be okay with a Gauntlet that has like the Hades style,
Yeah,
like and you like go back to the maze and fight again.
do that, but have still like your 4-player team co-op.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually check out this game called Sworn. It's supposedly like Arthurian legend, like King Arthur, but it's in like the style of Hades and it's multiplayer. So check that out, chat. It's like a very under like rated game. If you like Hades. So and also multiplayer. So
okay.
all right. So other games that came out on the 23rd. Sonic CD on the Sega CD in 1993. That's the best thing about Sega CD games. You just add CD at the end of it. So uh, Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube in 2002. Warriors Orochi 2 on the PS2 360 in 2008. Forza Horizon 3 on the Xbox One 2016. The Surge 2 on the PC in 2019. A little fun game that I don't think gets enough recognition was ActRaiser Renaissance. Came out on basically everything in 2021. And then what do you call it? Castlevania Advanced Collection on the PC, PS4, and Switch in 2021. So what are we watching here? What's this?
Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring it up really quick because I still buy the Horizon games.
Okay.
I remember when the first one came out, you're kind of up in like the Colorado Rocky foothills. It was definitely a different spin because I'd played plenty of like Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo. I'd done a lot of like the true to form, very like realistic racers. I loved the Horizon series because it didn't take itself too seriously. They kind of made it out of festival and had just like music in the background. So it was like a music
Mm,
festival with like car races. So it was just more fun to play. And it was really hard for me, honestly, to go back to the regular series. As a fan, like I grew up around cars. My dad and my brother are both mechanics. I've always had appreciation for them.
Yeah.
I could not tell you how they work. My brother's a mechanic. It doesn't compute in my head, but playing these games, I still like just loved playing the Horizon games because of just how it felt. Like this actual like driving through here, they're still
that
really
looks good.
nailing the open world. They're
Yeah.
still nailing the graphics, and every single iteration goes to a different part of the planet. 3 was in Australia, which is really cool. So you got these really wide open areas, some, like on the beach, and then some desert areas. I just wanted to highlight because I still think it is still fun to play. like across the board. Every single Horizon is just good. It's just
Oh
fun to
yeah.
play, and I've added so many songs to my Spotify playlists just because of this video game series. There's times when I go work out at the gym and I throw on like the Hospital Records radio from the Horizon games and
Mhm.
just listen to that. Like it just gets you pumped and going. But also, following a lot of other game series, the next one sounds like it's rumored to be taking place in Japan.
I'm excited,
So,
especially if they like do a lot more of drifting or like downhill racing, like Initial D stuff. I'm in,
Oh,
bro.
oh my
I'm in.
right.
god.
Imagine if
I'm-
they actually had some of the tracks, quote unquote, from Initial D that you could do. You know, people are going to be throwing together the AE86 and
Yeah,
just drifting around like
or
fools.
that could even be like some sort of pack later, the Initial D pack, right, or something like that. I
Yeah,
think that's a great idea. Or they could even do Tokyo Drift pack. Like, there's so many inspirations they can grab from.
there's
That will
already
get
plenty
people
of
to buy.
people that certainly do liveries that make it from some of your favorite like animation or anime series like cars that you recognize, so
Mhm.
they're already in there, but now they could do some more official stuff with it. Absolutely. So
Yeah. That's cool. And I'm
we'll see.
glad that Forza's coming onto the PlayStation family because, like, when was the last time we heard from Gran Turismo? Like, nothing really, right?
Yeah, they
Right.
just had a new update recently for their most recent Gran Turismo, but it's still like for me, there's nothing wrong with it. Certainly, if it's what you're into, that's
Yeah.
fine. But it just feels like an elevator ride to me. I'm just not excited to play it. I still kind of stuck with Forza Motorsport, but now Forza Motorsport's not being made by Microsoft.
Right?
We get Horizon, which fine for me. I've been enjoying Horizon most of all the series, but it's just like it's a weird kind of situation to be in. And now that they've jumped over to PlayStation as well, you can expect like it's going to do gangbusters because there's
Yeah.
not really anything like this on PlayStation.
More appeal now. And hopefully it like lights a fire under the ass and like go back to MotorStorm and,
Right.
hey, if I see a downhill domination too, I'm gonna shit myself. Crazy.
Okay. Real talk though, with the next Horizon, I need to see the Mach 5.
Oh yeah, that could
I need to see Mach 5.
Ace is buying that DLC 100%.
Right.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, Mark. See that, chat? This is how you get somebody that don't play racing games. You just put an anime car in a racing game, they're gonna play the game and then they get the DLC. So, and
Dioxide did a video on like some of the Initial D stuff, like the editing on. It's just like people go crazy. This is Horizon 4.
I love it. 86
Um,
Trueno.
Oh, that is dope.
Yeah, the scan lines, that's a mod, 100%. That's great.
But the fact that you can just like take this car, that's what I loved about Horizon, is you take some of these cars and you could just pump the craziest upgrades into them and just have them be the most ridiculous version of that car. My
Yeah.
favorite was a buddy of mine. I had just started playing and he put tons of time into Horizon 3. He ended up like finding this old Mustang that he made into like a super S ranked car by just shoving a bunch of mods into it, and he was like literally shooting across the sky. It was so fast off jump, as I could barely keep up in my like class like D car. It was just frustrating, but it was so funny at the same time because he literally was like popping upside down and stuff. It was
Well,
just
he was
it can be
hitting
fun.
the Skyrim macho madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome. Yeah, no, and like I said, I'm excited, looking forward to it, what they come out with, because I feel like they'll do it right, and I feel like they know they have to add those things in to get more people to be excited for these things, so it's like having like a movie character in a fighting game, right? Having this like the cars are the characters. All right, let's go to 24. Speaking of Monolith Studios, guys, I had the honor, along with my coworker during the time, to uh, is it beta? I think it was. I don't think it was a beta because they were asking us like if we had fun, like a playtest. That's what it was. A playtest of Scribblenauts, not Unmasked, but the originals. No, Scribblenauts Showdown. at Monolith Studio. So that was a while back. And this one specifically has Scribblenauts integrated with the DC Comics universe, like Batman, Superman are all there, but kind of more of the same game, just more characters. And if you guys don't know what Scribblenauts is, it's a super fun game where creativity is your weapon. Like if there's like a riddle, like hey, you need to get this girl across this bridge. Scribblenauts will you write it in a notebook, like a death note, and then it comes to life. It's just your imagination helps solve the game, which is super cool. Let's see, pull up here.
So modern, more kid-friendly comic zone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like in the Wii U, this was really cool because you could draw it.
Yeah.
And also on the DS, but like for those that didn't have those things, like you can just type in what you want, and usually like the things that you create interact with each other. Like if you put like thief right up like a guy with like a in a hoodie will like show up in like in a mask, right, like typical robber outfit. Then you create a cop, like the cop will pop up, and then like it'll start chasing the thief, like because like it has its own built-in AI that like recognizes like these like relationships with the meaning.
That is so cool.
That's super fun.
This is definitely one of those games like I would love or wish I had when I was younger, but I would love for like my own daughter when she gets old enough. Just like the creative problem solving you can do with it.
Yeah,
there's been some there's just some really cool stuff you can do with it. It was just a cool idea. And like you said, having the Wii U, this was the kind of game where it would shine, being able to actually draw on it. Like that brought that second screen thing to life, really. It was really made for it. Which is too bad that the Wii U just didn't do very well.
Right, and I think this would be awesome also on the Switch. Like I think the last iteration of this game was on the Switch. Like Showdown was on the Switch, but as far as like looking down the road, like hopefully they like visit this game again in some way or form, because it is a fun game. It's all ages game, and like the more creative you are, the more fun you're gonna have with this game. Right. So it's like it's one of those games that's like it's limitation is your imagination, how to solve these like puzzles and stuff. See now Deadshot's fighting Batman because they created Deadshot. So it's stuff like that. That's like you can see like interacting and stuff like that. And sometimes they help each other too. Like it really just just depends. So it's super, super great game. Let's see here. What else on the 24th? All right. Art of Fighting came out in the arcade in 1992. Mist on the Mac in 1993. Man, the 90s, crazy. Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Amn on the PC in 2000. Eco, PS2 in 2001. One of my favorite hockey games, NHL Hits 2002.
Yes.
On the PS2 in 2001. Spy Hunter as our theme for today, intro song on the PS2 2001. And I think that was like guest starred by The Rock also.
Okay, listen. You ever hear a song where, like, the moment it starts up, you just kind of make that face, that face that you just instinctively make when you're like really just vibing with the beat?
Yeah.
That was what I was doing with that Spy Hunter track. I was just like,
yeah.
Hey, security, good to see you in chat.
Making the groovy stink face.
Yeah, like the pouty lip, like yep. Now it was pretty good. When I was searching for music, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like I don't remember listening to it. I was actually thinking about putting the old song, which is just like what is it? Is it like old like something gun? Is the original of the song, a composer of the song or the name of the song. But yeah, and it sounded really good. It had a little spy theme to it, Spy Hunter.
I would absolutely just I off topic for this, but just watching this gameplay again, just how much I would absolutely do an NHL hits night if we need to. I loved this game so much, dude. So many late nights playing with my friends, especially because you could like make your own character and have the really shitty names, like, and the announcer would have to shout out the names while you're like scoring or fighting, and just some of the like names. I have to look it up. There's some like really great terrible names that you can get this guy to like shout out as you're playing.
Yeah, like I said, like I'm not a big sports game fan, but you add a little bit of arcade into it, I'm all about it. Like that's all it takes. You know, like
Absolutely.
I won't play NHL 99 or whatever, but I'll play the crap out of NHL Hits 99.
Like he'd have to shout it out, but you could name your character Mr. Slippery, Kretsch Foop, Nuts, X2F01, 101011, and he'd have to like shout it out like the binary name too. It was so
Oh,
good.
Lord.
Those
Uh,
sound like streamer names now.
Yeah, well, one of them was like Pecker, for example. You can have them shout Pecker or Vermin or Rodent. Like, it was just so good. And it's like the entire time I remember cramming like Totino's pizza rolls and like Dr. Pepper and like laughing my ass off at just hearing these really shitty names being called out as like trying to beat the hell out of each other. It was just so good.
Yeah, my favorite is when you just like you running them so hard against the wall they like burst through the glass. I love that. It's just a good feeling to have. Um, but yeah, the other two games on this day: Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus in the PS2 2002, and a game that has been forgotten, Contra Rogue Core came out on everything in 2019. Yeah, when was the last time you guys played Contra Rogue Core? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. All right. 925.
Oh.
Silent Hill 2 on the PS2 was released. I wanted to feature this game because two games actually. Silent Hill 2 got remastered this year. Also, Silent Hill F was just released to all the popular streamers. They're all playing it now. Super cool looking. I was watching it I was watching Maximilian play it at 12 o'clock last night, and I was like, why the hell am I watching this? This is scary. I'm not even playing it. And I'm like, what the heck? This is creepy. The sound engineer of this game needs a raise because just the sound itself, I was getting creeped out. So fantastic game. And I think this all started. Silent Hill was pretty popular back in the 2000s, but Silent Hill 2 really cemented the game as
Yeah.
survival horror.
I mean, hell, the fact, like, I didn't play much Silent Hill 2, but I did play a lot of DDR Max. The main theme from Silent Hill 2 was featured as one of the songs on DDR Max.
Wow.
That's how big Silent Hill 2 was.
Yeah, that's cool. And Konami's not afraid of like taking the other IPs and putting it in their other IPs as well, which is cool. That's very Capcom of them. Sly was a big part of your childhood growing up, Andre. All right, that's why that's why I wanted to feature it. I know my audience. I know my audience. I'm not a big fan of creepy games. Like and I think the creepy game is because like your guy is not as like they were talking about in Requiem how if you had Leon you wouldn't be as scared because Leon's just pro. He's like gonna take on this. He has experience, right? So you're this new character, this new girl because like she's like fumbling around. She doesn't have no combat skills. And that's what makes the game also scary is your helplessness to the environment around you.
Yep.
But Silent Hill really kind of drove the stake in with its fog. Like you hear the static and the fog and you're just like and your brain just goes what's out there. And that's like part of the kind of like the driving force of Silent Hill. Also it's like its monster design is like mind bending to me. It's amazing. So it's all good. I haven't really played any of the other ones, but like Silent Hill 2 they clearly remade it, so it's much more popular than the rest. So
And what's also rad is just the simple fact that that trademark fog was really just, it started as just like, a result of the technical limitations of
Yeah.
the PS1, and it just kind of became Silent Hill.
Yeah. And I think that's like that was smart of them. Like, oh, we can't make this thing happen because of the technical limitations. So what do? We make it art. We turn this weakness into a strength, right? That's creative game design in my opinion. It's pretty cool. IMO. But yeah, let's see here. Front Mission second on the PlayStation. That's the second iteration on Front Mission there in 1997 in Japan. I don't think that one made it to the US, unfortunately, because I was a huge Front Mission fan back then. Mega Man X4, that definitely made it here on the PlayStation in 1997. The King of Fighters 97 came out what year? 97. And came out on the Neo Geo. That'd be funny that King of Fighters CD 97. And you're like, oh, what system is that on? And then Halo 3, OG Halo 3 came out on 360 in 2007 as well. Dead or Alive 5 on the PS3 360 in 2012. That game needs to come back too, in my opinion. Tokyo Jungle on the PS3 in 2012, and Code Vein on the Xbox 2019 in Japan. All right, I can talk about Dead or Alive 5, but Ace has something to say about Mega Man X4. Why did you feature that one?
Well, actually, I featured Mega Man X4 because, last year when we were talking about this date, I remember I was talking everybody's ear off about KOF and Code Vein and, Warriors Orochi 4 and Hyrule Warriors coming up. But Mega Man X4 was X4 was something special, partly because, again, with the animated opening for X4, it kind of hit at the same time as the West was, getting more into anime, especially with Pokemon hitting the airwaves, right?
Anime is hell.
Oh man. And then it's just what do you call this? The dubbing was so rough.
But yeah, of course, as this was, the the 90s, the dubbing was raw off. The dubbing was horrible. But
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that though, because recently, there have been some folks actually putting up redubbed clips of some of the cutscenes from Mega Man X4 with using, an AI what you call it? It was an AI recreation of the voice actors from Mega Man X7 and X8. So you had Mark Gatha and Lucas Gilbertson, and hearing the newer talent in the older games actually it kind of raises that hope for seeing some of these other games remastered or remade. I mean, the fact that the Maverick Hunter games stopped at just the first. After playing Maverick Hunter Mega Man X, I was chomping at the bit, just waiting to see if they'd make it far enough to remake X4.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, I think that would be a good remake to high fidelity 1, 2, 3, right? To maybe to the 4 level. I actually personally like the 2D Mega Mans better than the 3D Mega Mans. But and we talked about this in the show a lot. It's more expensive to do pixel art than it is to do 3D models, especially now.
Yeah.
Right. So I get it, but it's just something about high definition pixel art is just wow, this is artwork, it's so good.
Especially,
yeah,
I forget which stage it was, but there was this one stage in, I think it's either X4 or X5, where you're fighting your way up this spiraling tower and just seeing it is X4. I remember now.
It rotates, yeah.
Yeah, and just seeing the sprites move as you're running up that tower, just seeing the rotation was so cool.
Yeah. And I remember this being really difficult too. My gamer brain in 2001, I was like, am I just old in 2001? Can I not play this game anymore? So
seriously, this was so nice. So nice. I bought it twice because I got this on the PS1 and then saw that it had a port on PC. So I was like, okay, let me get this from let me get this so that, me and my homie Bruce could play it over at his place because he had the computer, while at that point I had the PS1, not the other way around. So
you got to get the Mega Man X collection so they can get all of them, for 1, 2, 8. I can't remember how many there are. There's so many.
I still need to get the X collections anyway.
Yeah, all those Mega Man games, so much value, and the Capcom's doing great, really re-releasing all those in the collection. So fantastic. Also, that Mega Man mobile game is now accessible for you with everything unlocked as well. It's just one initial purchase, and you get everything from all the seasons, all the DLC from the mobile game. I forgot which Mega Man game it is. Chat will know because I know they're a fan of that.
Mega Man X Dive.
Dive, yeah. Because you can play multiple different characters, Bats. You can do Soul. You can do, all the characters from Mega Man, all the heroes. I think that I also saw some art of Zero having a Virgil skin. So that was pretty cool on Dive. But yeah, and let's see here. Tokyo Jungle. Chat, you guys know what Tokyo Jungle is? I'll make it super quick, but it's about evolution. So you pretty much start off as like a little dog, I think, from what I remember, and eventually there's your tower.
Here we go.
And eventually you become a bigger animal as you consume more and more like creatures. Yeah, it was fire. See, Andre knows what's up, man.
Listen, if this hasn't already been said before, I will say it now. Andre knows ball. All right.
Fun ass game that deserved a remake. Yeah, it was just one of those oddball games that you're like, what is this? It's called Tokyo Jungle, and you're just like, yeah, this is it right here. You're like, imagine if you're buying your next game and you're like, what the hell is this? What am I watching? Right. So this is what I mean. Like, they need to then this was an era before streaming, honestly. So you're gonna have to play a demo, which I think there was a demo. But otherwise, you're gonna be like, I don't know if I want to even try this game. I don't understand it.
Right? I mean, games like this and Seaman.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's right.
Yes.
That title. Oh my God.
We're never gonna escape it. It's always gonna be there.
No, we're not. Well, you can find your mate. You can get some clean kills. Oh.
Oh yeah, that was part of it too, like spreading like getting more populating like this.
Form your pack.
It's a wild game, and hopefully it's like I remember it being a PS3 exclusive and then also digital. So hopefully it made it somewhere form on the PS4 or something we could play now, because it's kind of be lost in the PS3.
No, it's like PT, man. You're not gonna get it back unless
and then like a PS3 with like Tokyo Jungle is gonna be like a $2,000 PS3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild. All right. All right, next one here on the 26th, the OG, the one that started it all, Akumajo Dracula Castle, Castlevania in the US, was released on the Famicom in 1986 in Japan. Had to grab the OG, no, like Nintendo. This is the US hand cover art, because the other one is basically the same thing with Japanese wording on it. Same artwork, and of course their cartridges on the Famicom were like horizontal, not vertical. So, but I feel like everybody in chat, if they're over 21, they know what Castlevania is in some way or form, right? We talked about Vampire Survivors; those guys had released a Castlevania DLC, and the reason why they made that game was to honor Castlevania. So this is it where it started. I would like to hear you guys' story in Castlevania. The first time I experienced this game was not me renting it, not me like playing it. I actually, my dad was going to his buddy's house, and he was like, "We're gonna go drink over here in this room. You play the Nintendo." That's what I remember. And then he had a Castlevania with a bunch of other games, and so while they were like hanging out and drinking, like I was playing their Nintendo, and I was totally cool with that, And this is one of the games he had.
That right there was just like standard operating procedure back in the 90s.
It's very 80s and 90s of what he did.
You were going with your parents to visit somebody. Everybody else was either drinking or watching movies or playing dominoes or watching the game.
Yep.
And the kids would be off in the other room, more than likely sitting in front of the Nintendo.
Yeah, that's how they parented,
And it was the same with me. And in fact, Castlevania was like that was the first time I had actually played or experienced Castlevania, that same sort of thing,
Yeah.
I was chilling out in the other room while my parents were, visiting with their friends. And I'm like, I see the Castlevania, I see the cartridge. I get curious, and I just, I put the cartridge in after playing like 2.5 hours or something at Pinbot.
I just remember being scared too about this game. It's kind
of them damn fishmen jumping up out the water had me bawling.
Yeah, that and the bats. The bats were annoying. I was like, the bats always like hit you when you're trying to jump across something. You're like, what the hell?
And although the Medusa heads were like, they were just flying in waves, it seemed like they just followed you.
They homed in on you. Like your like little kid brain was like, it's just picking up. Like, let me go. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't remember getting too far in this game either. I just wasn't like that good of a gamer back then. The jumping was really awkward. He felt really heavy. from what I
Mhm.
remember him jumping. And I just was not that kind of gamer like back then. I was a kid. I was like a smooth brain Contra gamer. Press buttons as fast as possible. 30 lives. Like didn't care.
Yeah, yeah, for me, it
Um,
was a lot of, like, that. I had a
yeah.
lot of Mario and, uh, Bugs Bunny. I remember
Oh
having
yeah.
that, his
Bugs
Birthday
Bunny Crazy
Bash.
Castle.
I had Birthday Bash.
Oh, Birthday
I
Bash.
didn't
Nice.
have Crazy Castle, but, like, those were the games that I played. I even had, like, a lot of movies and stuff that had releases, like, I got those because that's, my dad and I watched those, or our family watched those, so I wanted the NES game. No speaking for, like, Back to the Future being an awful NES game. I didn't realize it back then, when we got it. But, yeah, I didn't have Castlevania. This was another one that was just super late. None of my friends had it. We had all just like the other standard ones. Castlevania just didn't have much of a pull in my life.
Brother, I was like you when I was a kid. Like my if I wasn't renting video games from Albert Video, my friends and I literally had a cartel of like, oh, you borrowed this game, I'll borrow this game. Your parents bought you that for Christmas. My
Yep.
parents bought me this for Christmas. Let's swap.
Yeah.
We'll play for a while, and that was us. Like, and it's crazy. Like kids won't experience it. Won't experience that anymore. Like they're like way of trying to play games without having to buy them. Just communicating with your friends. That's wild to me that like we don't have that anymore because when we were
Wow.
kids, that definitely was a thing.
Just everything changing to digital. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons there was so much of like a lamentation about not having physical games anymore. We
Mhm.
lost that kind of community thing that we loved, the ability to kind of like talk and share.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the reasons like things like YouTube took off. It's just a way to share those experiences just
Yep.
in a different way.
I mean,
Yeah, I
even
never had
now,
it.
as we're streaming this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's exactly what we're doing. So I
Yeah,
get you.
so we're just missing the past and talking about
Yeah.
it. I'm
Back in
I'm like
my day.
yeah, I'm like Jagos. I didn't really get into it until Symphony of the Night. So that's not a bad one to get into, but again, that was another one I got into later in life.
Yeah. I remember playing Dracula X on the Super Nintendo. That was a hard one to rent also. And I was really bad at that game. I think it was like I'm like you. I didn't really get good at Castlevania until Symphony of the Night. I think that's a whole different game. It's not
Yeah.
really a traditional Castlevania. So there you go. Well, other games that came out on the 26th. Shout out to Command and Conquer on the PC in 1995. Westwood
Yeah.
Studios. Hello. So that's like one of my first RTSs I ever got on my PC on my 486 Intel. uh, Super Mario 64 on the N64 in 1996. Croc, Legend of the Gobos on the PC, PlayStation, and Saturn in 1997. Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. Shout out to Andre on the PS2 2005. Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U in 2014, and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on the Switch in 2024. Yeah, just wanted to shout out some games I know our audience likes and what you guys like also.
I can definitely say that
Oh,
the
so cool.
the day that Mario 64 came out, that that literally changed the game.
Yeah, for sure. Like that was like, oh my god, graphics. Oh my god, 3D Mario. That's amazing. Mario 64 was the 64's version of Final Fantasy 7. They've been wanting their favorite game on a 3D graphic level. It's 100% what it was. Yeah, and here's the fun part. I put Croc in there because I read somewhere that Croc was actually supposed to like be Yoshi. And Chad, Chad, you can help me with this. I think like they were trying to design a Yoshi and they ended up with Croc. So that's like one of the stories of that. And thinking you can look this up on like Matt McMuscle's What Happened, but like Croc is an interesting story. And man, and watching this like CNC video right here is bringing me back. I think this is the PlayStation version, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's so like it's so wide from what I remember.
Yeah, actually, Command and Conquer. Like I actually remember one of my buddies in middle school had actually gotten this for the PlayStation, and
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was all about the the Tesla Troopers.
Oh,
Just
you're playing Retaliation or not
Yeah.
Retaliation? Red Alert.
Yeah, Red Alert.
Yeah, Red
But
Alert is where I spend most of my time too.
Yeah,
like, every time you heard
mine was
Waller
this.
got juice. I'm like, oh, it's about to get nuts.
That's the second one, right? Command and Conquer 2, Red Alert. from what I
Red Alert
remember.
was the follow up, yeah, because it
Okay.
was Command and Conquer. Then it was the Gold Edition, if I remember right, that had some more missions.
Yeah, like the
And then Red Alert
DLCs.
was the next release. But yeah, like I said, Red Alert was my jam. That's where I spent
Okay.
most of my time, and
Mine
that's
was
what they.
mine was definitely this one. I skipped Red Alert, and that's why Tiberian Sun was so cool to me because it was like a real sequel to Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
But Red Alert also got an awesome sequel with on like the 3D one with the full motion video. That was so cool with the actors and stuff.
Well, I
I think
mean, Red Alert had, and this even has some like actual actors too.
yeah,
Like,
that was the jam.
yeah, that was the whole reason I loved it. It was so like over the top. I remember Red Alert just because it's like it's literally Einstein, like someone goes in time and like takes Einstein and you have to
Yeah.
rescue him as part of like the GDI. So crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and then the latest iteration of this game is CNC Generals on the mobile. Great. So
If
that's where it went.
if you haven't played it, I did buy the remaster for this, and it's
Yeah.
crazy to go back and like same as like the Halo remasters when they did those. You hit one button, it shoots right over to the old school graphics, and man, it is a trip
Oh,
just
that's
seeing it
great.
That's
because
cool.
it's
Yeah.
the same as like this that you're seeing here. Where you're just like those are barely human that you're clicking on, like barely. But there's just something like even playing like the updated graphics, like it's fun for a little bit, but then I just find myself keep switching back to the old school. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is.
it's what we fell in love with. It's kind of like why I say I like pixel art so much, right? It's just I don't know. I just enjoy it better aesthetically in my opinion.
I
So
mean, I enjoy the pixel art too for like the atmosphere, but this is rough. Like old Command and Conquer is rough to
well, this
watch.
is also PlayStation. It's definitely watered down in this version as well.
Yeah.
Because the PC one, if you had it on like 1080, 1024, it was not bad, or 1078. I can't remember which resolution it was. Oh, hopefully it's breaker didn't bust again.
Well, we'll find out.
All right. Let's go to our last day. All right. Well, here it is. The reason why I chose for 927 for Fate Samurai Remnant was Fate Samurai Remnant was actually the first game that I bought on PlayStation 5, and also the first game that I started streaming when I started coming back to stream. So this is the very important game for this channel, just because without this game, I don't think I don't know where I would have been, because technically this marked the return of me streaming, because I took a break from streaming for a long time, probably like 3 years, right? And I came back playing this game. Oh, there he goes. All
Breaker's busted.
right,
Nope, nope.
internet.
No, that was my Wi-Fi just deciding to attach to the other Wi-Fi because I have a
Oh,
5G and a 2.5 or 2.4
randomly.
or whatever. Yeah, just
Um,
randomly.
but yeah, this game is a mixture of, I would say, like um what's that game? Way of the Samurai, but like with Fate, the Fate kind of like aesthetic over it. It's a Koei Tecmo game. It's made by W Force, so there's a little bit of Muso in here as well, right? But definitely, it's a mix of a variety of different games. So, and it's definitely not a game for everybody. But if you like the Fate series and you like, now I'm not gonna say Muso because there's not enough Muso in here for everybody, but it's kind of the same thing. It's almost like
Well,
Fate, Muso, and Neo combined.
I still got to go back and play Fate Extella.
That's definitely Muso. Fate Extella is definitely Muso. And it's actually Fate Extra in Japan, but they sounds like Extella. Extra. So that's why they call it
There we
Extella.
go.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so one of the things I'll tell you, I won't go too much into this game, and I already told you why it's important to me. But this game right here, really, the Fate series is really fun for me because it's about ancient heroes that that come back into a timepiece, and you don't know who they are until they start like showing off their moves, right? And I actually played this game spoiler free, and I haven't finished it, but I don't even know who my hero is yet. That's the best part. So like I've met Musashi, I've met like Zhou Yu from Dynasty
Master.
Warriors. I've met some guy in like a French guy, like I can't remember who it was. Like some knight. Um And then like Gilgamesh is in there, of course. He's always in here in some way or form. But like I just don't know who my character is, and that's part of the allure of the Fate series. Is like the main character typically doesn't know who their hero is until they start doing their moves, right? So that's part of like the fun part. And of course, like if you ever watch Fate, it's about a tournament like of heroes fighting each other with their masters, and whoever wins the last one gets a wish, pretty much. Basically the same thing. And then part of it is like your hero doesn't remember who they are also, so it's hard for them to unlock their full power because they don't know who they are yet, right? So there's check it out if it's like on sale. It's definitely like not going to be like a full price title in my opinion. But like if you like Fate like I do and celebrate Fate, I think it's a good pickup as well. So check it out if you
Okay.
are interested.
I mean,
Um,
what I'm seeing here looks pretty freaking solid.
yeah, like I said, that's why it's like half Muso, half Neo almost.
I would say it reminds me a lot of like the Tales of games. Like the
Yeah,
combat, you're kind of in these areas like that are closed off. You have some boss characters, some minions, and you have like A and B arts kind of thing. You have your
yep.
main attacks, and then you have like special attacks kind of thing. And it looks like you're controlling like this guy's controlling Saber as his like second character as well.
Yeah, it's part of the combo. Like if you press a certain button during your combo, like Saber will come in, or like if you have a skill that like you get hit, Saber will come in and block, like stuff like that. It's there's a lot of customization involved in this game, so you can play it as you want to. And this guy has 3 different stances also, so you can choose your gameplay as much as you want, but you can customize them pretty in depth from my experience. But eventually we'll go back into it. It is kind of like a very like I know Andre tried to play this game. He said it's not very stream friendly. It's not if you don't know what's happening or if you're not a fan. Like it's a slog for sure. It's one of those games where like the tutorial is like 3 hours long because it's slowly revealing things to you,
Hmm.
right? So that's just my quick review on that. But other games that came out on our last day here, the 27th, Dragon Quest V on the Super Nintendo in 1992 in Japan. Wanted to give a shout out to Shadow Hearts Covenant on the PS2. And what you're seeing on the screen here is Dead Rising 2 came out on basically everything in 2010. Another X-Men game, X-Men Destiny, nothing like X-Men Legends, if you ask me. It came out on everything too, and also 2011. And I know Ace had played this on his channel. I think I also streamed this on my channel too at some point. So check that out when you guys get
Yeah.
a chance.
Actually, X-Men Destiny, funny enough, was actually the first, like, X-Men Destiny was the first game that I actually, made an attempt at streaming back when I was still, figuring things out. So, like, I literally, like, I didn't even really stream it. Like, I had a Twitch account, but I also had my little Roxio game capture, and I just recorded gameplay and,
Like you were
did
doing
more
more
of a,
YouTube.
yeah,
This
yeah,
man
did more
here,
YouTube series on it.
Bro, this this is this the guy? Is this the football player?
Mhm.
Because there's a football player, there's like anime schoolgirl, and then there's like the guy that looks like Cole from Infamous.
Basically. Now, the kind of sad part about X-Men Destiny is that
oh, it's in high quality.
It's rough.
oh
Oh,
wait, you
Ace.
actually
I pulled up you, Ace.
Oh my God.
Yeah! Let's go.
But like the really sad part about X-Men Destiny is that initially it was supposed to be an MMO like DC Universe.
Mm,
Like it was initially being developed as, a DC Universe
yeah,
competitor,
create a character kind of thing.
but
Iceman.
it needless to say it did not take off. And what we got as a result was
If
I
if
think
you
we
watch
need an HD update of Ace playing this game. I can barely read the text on it.
yeah, this is like 480, 720, I think. This is crazy.
like I said, this is in the before times before I even got my first Elgato. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold on.
There you go. You're giving Ace the algorithm
Here
points.
we go. 12 years ago.
Yeah. 12.
Oh yeah.
Oh God,
20
12 years ago.
2013. That's crazy.
That is wild.
Yeah, you put you leave a comment. I love it. That's good. They're gonna push it up the algorithm. There's a comment and a like too.
Hey.
This is meta. Watching your own streams on stream.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Hell of a way to
There you go,
celebrate
bud.
the episode, son.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Ace.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, so a couple more games coming out here. It came out. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater on the Wii U in 2014 in Japan. Another game that never made it to America, but it was a game that everybody wanted to play because you used as a photographer fighting horrific spirits, and you used the Wii tablet as the camera, and we never got it in America. One of the reasons to use the Wii U tablet. That's crazy.
Speaking of wasted potential,
right? And then the last one is Warriors Orochi 4 on the Switch and PS4 in 2018 in Japan. You see, we have consistency in this channel. We talk about things we like to play.
We like talking about Ace, talking about
X-Men Destiny. So, I mean, I feel like Ace has a direct line to Koei Tecmo headquarters. Like, hey, you got a new game coming out? I can advertise it for you, no problem.
They're like, you're gonna buy it anyway.
They know to give Ace a demo code for sure. He's the guy, and there's been a few.
I'm not gonna lie, there has been a substantial number of Koei Tecmo games that actually came out recently that I did reach out to their community manager, get review codes, and actually play and review. So
yeah,
it's not too far off the mark.
There you go. And I think it was like, I remember in 2013 you were like my prominent, like, because I knew you, like you were making Muso content a lot. And then the other one was Date Masamune 25, I think.
Yeah, Dark Masamune 87.
Dark Masamune, yeah, 87 or something like that. He was the other one, but then he like fell off. He didn't stop doing it. Life happens, right? So like I haven't really looked
life
out there.
happened for Ace though. Look, he's still connected by an umbilical cord to this series.
Like he's just maybe he's not as passionate as Ace is.
Oh, okay.
They don't just give review codes to anybody.
Right. You have to really stick around.
My man played Dynasty Warriors Strike Force. You remember that one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Only 4 people knew that in the whole
That one should make a comeback too.
YouTube world. All right. Anyway, that is this week in game history. Alrighty, guys. It is going to be time for some quick bites and rumor mill. This is the part of the show where we keep you plugged into what's hot and what's whispered in the gaming world. First, we'll hit you with some quick bites, bite-sized headlines to get you caught up on the biggest news in gaming. Then we stir the pot with some rumors in the rumor mill, where leaks, whispers, and wild speculation get tossed around for debate. Now, some of it might be true, some of it might be pure internet myth, but either way, it's always worth talking about. Leading to this charge, of course, is Mr. Nick. What you got for us, man?
Mr. Nick. Oh, it's Dr. Nick, everyone. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. on this 50th episode, the anniversary, let's do more terrible things.
Wait,
yes,
hold on. Here's your forgot your quick bites intro. That's a quick bites intro, right?
Way
there.
more exciting than what we were starting with there. So I apologize for that. Just keeping up with the latest news for this week, what we may have missed this last week, or just some interesting conversation points. First off, we're just leading out with Xbox. Their new Game Pass September drops have hit. Hollow Knight Silksong is now live on across Game Pass platforms, whether on PC or Xbox, if I'm reading that right. Dragon Age Veilguard is joining EA Play, so you can finally not have to pay beyond your EA Play subscription
again.
to try that game. Yeah, give it a shot, maybe one more time. And Gears of War Reloaded is making its first appearance on PlayStation, so that kind of makes you think about, hey, with the news and stuff that's happening, we were talking about Forza Horizon going to PlayStation. Is there anything you two think is kind of left in the Xbox library that should be making the hop over to PlayStation?
Oh god,
because they already have a lot of these games on Game Pass, right? It's part of
Yeah.
the part and parcel of why you want to buy into it. But if games are going to start shifting over to PlayStation, what's something you think they should shift over?
I got one, but like Ace, go first because you guys are not going to know this game.
Well, I'm just trying to. You know what? If there's one thing off
You
of
better not be saying
Xbox,
like Fusion Frenzy or something like that.
nah, if there's one thing off of Xbox that needs to make the jump over to PlayStation Network, Killer Instinct.
Boom. Got
Yeah.
him. That's not mine though, but that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good
Absolutely.
one. That's a
Like
good one.
imagine the KI 10th anniversary edition dropping on PlayStation Network for that whole swath of the player base that may not have even picked up a Xbox One at that point. But now it's like just a whole new territory, a whole new section of players that get to sit down and finally like play through stuff like not just the 3 seasons worth of content in the story mode, but the Shadow Lords online mode, revitalize the leaderboards, get all the customizations and everything too.
And hey, man, if we're talking about like immaculate OSTs, like soundtracks you have to hear, that KI soundtrack is awesome.
Yes.
I mean, that's where our Yo Check This Out comes from.
KI plus
Another plug.
Yes, please.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You put it on PlayStation, you put Kratos in it, it's over.
Brother.
Insta buy. I think that's a great to
But
have.
we have PlayStation All Stars already somewhere in the
No,
library.
we don't.
Come on,
That's fake news, bro. That's not real. Fake news, bro. Soul Calibur don't count.
I want Sackboy to fight Nathan Drake and Kratos once more. Give me, because we're gonna have it. Just give me Ellie from Last of Us in there as well.
Jesus.
We'll just re-release it, chronological order. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the game that never made it to PlayStation that needs to go on PlayStation that was only made on Xbox was a Togi.
Oh wow!
Nobody was gonna get that one, huh?
No,
Togi 1 and 2 are only on the Xbox OG, and I feel like with From Software being popular everywhere now, putting those on the PlayStation platform would be a win, especially since Demon Souls is exclusive on PlayStation. So there's a market for it.
Well, I would also say, like with the next Ninja Gaiden coming out, I remember Otage being very close in feel to that. So if the new one comes out, it does really well. Ragebound is doing great, looks great. Like maybe Otage comes out. Chat, talk about it. Maybe you've got one
said
too,
Blinks. I hate you.
Wow.
You said Blinks.
Deep cut.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't say like brute force or something. Like, we're just,
hey,
I don't know the upside down world gun.
Moving on to the next little bit of news, we've talked before about the government in India talking about coming down on some of gaming's worst habits. The Indian government plans to enforce the Promotion and Regulation of Online Games Act starting October 1st, 2025. That's coming up. It's meant to regulate content, advertising, and user data while also pushing responsible gaming. So what kind of changes do you think developers and publishers might need to make? I mean, India's a pretty big market and it's only getting bigger.
Oh man. Yeah, and I think they're starting to have like more devs coming out of there now too, right?
Yeah, more and more devs. There's more and more opportunity. I mean, we saw the explosion of the market in China as well. We started seeing some devs come out of Korea. India's the next market that's kind of blowing up as people are trying to go in there. That's why this news is kind of hitting a little hard. We talked about it before, but kind of cracking down on loot boxes and gambling and the thoughts behind it. So now there's going to be full on regulation in that. Talking about how devs are going to have to mess around with this. I mean, for our viewers in chat, think about how this might affect international gaming practices or even monetization. Or now we're going to be getting monetization in only one market, but on another market, and how that may kind of shift what people think about some of these titles.
Yeah, we're going to be getting like, it's actually almost turning into back in the 16-bit era where like games are region like based and censored in a certain way. So like India could have a specific monetization like thing there, but then the US version of the game is totally different, something like that.
Fair enough. Ace, what do you think?
I mean, just like I was legitimately thinking the same thing, just with what India is getting ready to start doing when it comes to monetization. Like what's old is new again. And we may very well start seeing, region-specific versions of various games just based on, based on localization and censorship practices and now monetization practices.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, we've already seen how some games have changed across the board because of trying to fit into one larger market or perceived market. So, just an interesting bit of news that we're going to see, and now it's going into effect. So, after October 1st, we'll see what happens. Speaking of stuff happening, within the next week or two, PC Game Show is going to be doing a special Tokyo Direct broadcast on September 28th, which is coinciding with the Tokyo Game Show. Expect some trailers, some dev interviews, and some world premiere announcements from Sega, Devolver Digital, and others. With
Sweet.
that in mind, do you think there's any hidden sequels, any new IPs? What reveals are you guys hoping for to get out of TGS?
Well,
Pers-
oddly enough, we've already been seeing some TGS stuff because this is literally like TGS week.
Hmm.
Like just the sudden blitz of Kojima Productions stuff that's been announced on Twitter today, and then
Yeah,
add to
we
that,
even got an update on the Death Stranding movie as well.
yeah, that the Death Stranding anime Mosquito,
Yep.
and then on top of that, there's the stuff that Pocket Pair's been announcing for Pal World. Believe it or not, like even with that lawsuit going on, Pocket Pair's just like, fuck it, we got more stuff that we had in the pipeline, so let's just get it out there.
Yeah.
Like Pal World Farm.
They shouldn't stop. They should keep going, honestly. I don't think
hope they do.
I don't think they should be letting Nintendo bully them.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
me.
keep your eyes on the news. I'm sure we'll be bringing some to you. Definitely stay active in our Discord. But we're already seeing some trailers drop. The PC gaming show is just kind of the next bigger one we're getting. But there's a lot of cool stuff happening this week on the full schedule. Definitely check it out. TGS has it listed. If you haven't seen as well, like I think it was 4 or 5 hours ago, the Octopath Traveler 0
Yeah.
trailer dropped. Looks
Oh.
excellent. Ace, if
Okay.
you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. We're talking about how, updating some of these older, like 16-bit or sprite era kind of like feels like they still really, really nail it. Some really cool stuff. So I won't talk too much about that one, but some quick bites after that. Let's talk about Borderlands 4. Couple things for it. First and foremost, we just found out they are indefinitely delaying the Switch 2 version. It was originally slated for October 3rd as a release date, and we know it's had some performance jank, especially on PC, but Gearbox is taking the extra step to delay this version of the game. Sounds like it's needed, especially after have we seen a lot of Switch 2 launches lately. Moving on to Diablo 4, they have just launched Season 10. James, I don't know if you've been playing that, but it's now available to all the Helldiving Heroes of Sanctuary, so new season of Diablo 4.
Yep.
We actually found out a little bit more about Bungie's Marathon, more so finding out that it isn't expected to be at PlayStation's September State of Play event. That's been officially confirmed by Sony. Uh,
Whee!
who scheduled that SOP, that state of play, for tomorrow, the 24th. So
Oh
tomorrow
man.
morning, yeah, get ready for the next state of play. But there's going to be no Bungie's marathon. We have been hearing news about the new like alpha gameplay that's been happening, and apparently there's been a lot of tweaks to it. So they'll be doing like a future kind of reveal of it. We'll see what kind of stuff happens. We'll see if it's still fated to be like this big awful thing.
I hope here's the thing, like if the OG design of Marathon wasn't working out and had like not a great reception, Borderlands 4 just came out. I think Marathon should have been another Borderlands Sony IP. Like that would be kind of cool, actually, in my opinion, because there is not a lot of competitors for Borderlands. So I think that would have been
That's true.
a good cap.
Yeah, I mean, for being the original looter shooter, not a lot of them are still like
Yeah.
in the market, or they've changed into different kind of genres. So it's really cool to see, at least for me as a fan of this series, it's really cool to see 4 do well. And that's actually a great segue because one of the other news bites we have is Borderlands 4 has been out less than 2 weeks, but is about to hit 3 million copies sold. It just passed 2.5 million copies.
Woo.
So despite Randy's best efforts.
Yeah. He
Jokes
knew.
aside, one interesting note on these current sales is that despite that jank on the PC, 1.3 million copies of that 2.5 was sold just on Steam. So a significant portion of that was done on PC sales. Little bit more news about Xbox while we're here. Xbox has actually disappeared from Costco. I don't know if you've seen the news about this. Both
What?
the US and UK websites no longer have search results available to folks, but PlayStation and Nintendo still work. So maybe that price increase that just happened because they just raised prices on their consoles right on the back of like poor sales numbers. Maybe that's scaring retailers off. What do you two think?
It's honestly that's wasting inventory space for them if they're not moving. If I saw on my analytics that not one Xbox One console has been sold in the last 6 months, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep this regular price and get rid of it, or ship it somewhere else where I can put things that sell in my store, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very often that you have a video game console that appreciates so soon after
Yeah,
its launch. Like now, I was originally thinking like, man, I'm not really playing my Xbox. I just invested a little bit on my PC. I still have some PlayStation games I play with friends. I don't really use my Xbox that much, and a lot of the games that I want to play are on PC
are on
anyway.
PC. Yeah,
Right.
they
So I
run
was
better.
thinking of getting rid of my Series X, and I'm glad I didn't because now it's worth more.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
um,
PlayStation's the same thing too. So
Right. And let's be honest, there's some things about Costco where I will go in and the next month, not the same product's going to be there. They have a very specific amount of space. They have a lot of different inventory they have to shift through. This could be one of those things, but it is kind of surprising. It just happened, fanfare, nothing said. And the other consoles are certainly available on the sites. But yeah, Xbox disappearing from Costco, maybe the first of some other places doing that. Interesting news. Hey, Steph, while I got you here for the 50th, let me ask a very important question. Do you guys have PlayStation trophies?
uh like
Any?
the actual
No,
trophies.
no, no, just in games.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
right? How many platinums you got?
Under 10, I think.
Ace?
I gotta look it up now.
Ace got 5. He knows exactly what he's got. I'm not platinuming Yakuza. We've been through that. I just
God
can't
no.
I can't get through Mahjong. I don't have that much time in my life. But just so you know, they're worth much more than just showing off your EPing to people, right? Sony's launching franchise rewards. So if you haven't heard about this, this lets players access and purchase exclusive merch if they have certain in-game trophies unlocked. So I don't know how you two feel about this. What do you think about this as a scheme? Because for me,
That's terrible.
it's one of those things that you remember when we'd go to PAX and they used to give away free stuff, like free merch at every single kind of
Yeah.
booth you'd go up to. I remember going to the Bethesda booth when like Fallout 3 was a thing, and they had like a t-shirt for each of their games. You're just grabbing them out of bins, find your shirt. And I had that. I had one of those shirts, like a resistance shirt or not a resistance shirt, but a style shirt for like a long time. Great stuff. And then we started slowly seeing this thing where all of a sudden all the booths had merch booths. You had to keep buying kind of thing. I love the idea of a lot of these rewards things. Like Nintendo did it, Microsoft did it, PlayStation's done it. There's a lot of different iterations. I'm sure we can have an episode talking about like just rewards and cool swag that we could get. But now let me share the screen of what I'm talking about. It's starting with Ghost of Tsushima as the very first game. So you get these trophies in the game, and it's like, cool, now you get access to exclusive merch. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool that you have to buy. So, for example, if you get the Living Legend Platinum trophy, you can buy a pin. If you get the Mononoware Gold trophy, you can buy a t shirt for $30.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Stop.
Yeah, what do you think?
This
What do
is
you think,
weird
guys? Knee jerk
because
reaction.
like, what if you're just bad at video games, but you really want a shirt? Like you're literally putting like a barrier, a skill barrier on purchasing products. Seems kind of unfair.
But you can still buy other products. It's just these are exclusive to the gamers that have the wherewithal to get the platinum trophies or hard to get trophies. It's a cool
Ugh,
like bonus, but like me having to go to the site and then having to buy it, that I don't know about that. Like if it was
I
like
think if you get the trophy,
discounted, but
yeah, I think that would have been better if you can still buy it without having the trophy, but if you show that you do have it, you get some sort of like 50% off, free, whatever, because that's time and effort. Like, ain't nobody got all that time, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
I see Jay goes to chat saying no thanks, but Chad, let us know what you think. Ace, you've been making some faces. What do you think about this?
That's a no for me, dog. I'm gonna
he's
say it
out of
flat
line,
out.
but he's right.
'Cause I mean,
Yeah, right. He got the spirit.
speaking of rewards programs, PlayStation already had something decent set up with the PlayStation Stars program. I mean, they pretty much
So
had it, kind of like with
yeah.
Club Nintendo, where you would get credit for games that you purchase. And if you had, if you like, the moment you install a game and, it registered on your system, you would get credit based on the PlayStation Store price for it. Or if you got it digitally, then you just get the credit right there. But, if you got points, then you could use those points to get like, $5, $10 sometimes. You get, PlayStation Store credit with those points in addition to, different little collectibles or, extra items that you can get on the PlayStation Store. But now, not even that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
I'm
Jago's
kind of
just said.
rescinding my comment here. The reason why I had to it is because I'm an adult, right? And I don't have a lot of time. But imagine if you were a kid that didn't have a job, but you did have a PlayStation. This is awesome. Because like imagine like remember when we were kids and we had those like Capcom points,
Mhm.
right? Like I get it. Like when you're a kid, this is awesome. It's more opportunity for me to get cool stuff. I have a lot of time in my hands, right? But like as an adult, this is still rough. So I'm just kind of seeing it from the adult perspective, but I can see why this is cool from like another perspective outside of an adult that has a full-time job.
I mean, I like the idea of having like exclusive merch that you can kind of earn. But like a lot of people have said with this when this news hit was we lost PlayStation stars for this.
Yeah, exactly.
The it's
Bleh.
just bruh. So IGN did release an article Tom Phillips typed up, and just to quote a couple people that he talked to, Thick Wonga 413 said we went from getting points from buying games to buy more games for free to getting points that give us the honor of giving them more money. Thanks, guys. Um,
Yeah.
like
That was me. That was my adult response. Exactly that.
right. And Silent Elite 99 said play to pay, the Destiny method. So Bungie had been doing this for a while. Remember there was like exclusive Destiny merch you can get for like completing like certain raids or certain like hard to do or limited tasks. The same kind of thing. So it's one of those things that, yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. It's cool to have like this exclusive kind of thing, but now you're paying on top of paying. It seems tone deaf when we're talking so much about rising costs everywhere, the pushback on rising video game costs, which we've talked about before. Definitely check some of our old vods. We won't reignite that right now, but there's a lot of like reasoning behind it, and we had a good conversation about it. But it's just one of those things that right on the back of everything else, that's what has been hitting in the news. Like, hey, we got this new program starting with Ghost of Tsushima, and now play to pay. Rumor mill. Let's knock out a couple rumor things. And this week we have some news on GTA 6. So insider Tom Henderson suggests that Grand Theft Auto 6, which is set, as we know, now currently set for May 26, could be pushed back to October 2026. Now, he is saying this based on citing a lot of the ambition shown in the recent trailers. As we talked about, there's a gigantic, I forget exact what percentage, like 67% of all buildings are enterable. We talked about potentially volumetric weather as well in a recent rumor mill. But with that much going in there, it sounds like it could be getting pushed back again, at least to him. And again, he's an insider. He's been talking about this stuff for a while. It could be a nugget of truth there. But again, grain of salt. Take-Two's CEO publicly has maintained the May 2026 date. So we'll see. Feature creep may be a part of this. I don't know what you guys think about that. If you think about that thing being moved again, what do you think the response will be? Like release it when it's done kind of thing, or you're delaying it again after dropping such a hard date? Because remember, before it was just a window. They didn't give really a specific date. Now they've
Yeah.
given a specific date, and we keep seeing this like creep of more content hitting these trailers.
If they made a trailer for a release date, they need to honor that because it's like otherwise then they're just not gonna believe anything they put out anymore. Like that's kind of like the perspective of that. Now, if they were like if they had like a dev thing where they were like, oh, we're gonna do this little show of like where we're at in the game, they're like, honestly, if we release this on this date, it's not gonna be ready. Right. And I think the fans would be okay with that. The investors would not be. That's the difference there. The fans would be like, this is awesome. Like, I have a have some transparency with my game. It's not run yet. Finish it when it's done. But then investors be like, no, you told me it's going to be coming out here because I'm going to be making money. That's the difference. That why that's like not appropriate for 2 reasons, right? Um, yeah.
So Andre in chat saying delaying the game enough times can cause people to lose interest.
Yep. That too.
Certainly, but this is GTA 6. We know it's going to be the biggest game release of all time. There's an extraordinary amount of hype for it. Would that much of a delay from May to October really make a huge
No,
dent
not
in
at
the
all.
sales of it? And
Not at all.
that may be something to talk about. Like, this could be a game that does it. We're going to grumble, but we're still going to buy it.
The
And it
sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. No. I basically finished my thought.
I said the only other thing that would affect is the other people releasing their games in October, because they would be like, now I got to push back my game or release it earlier, because they're already doing that now in May.
Yeah, that's what they did this year.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. It's like it's kind of screwing those guys up as well. So, but it's technically not 2K's problem. It's not Rockstar's problem. It's those guys' problem,
Yeah.
right? So, but I'm gonna say it from the Rockstar perspective. If you make a trailer for a release date, I think that's like making enough speculation for that. You need to honor that. But if the game's not done and it's going to be crap, it's more risk for you to release it early than making it late. What did Shigeru say? Right?
A delayed game is eventually good.
Yeah, there you go. Right?
Yeah.
Versus a game that's released early is just going to be bad. Right?
We need to get that on a plaque, like
Yeah,
Ted
send it
Lasso
to every
Believe
dev
style, and just
with Miyamoto, just like this.
yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miyamoto. Speaking of GTA 6, one more rumor. Speaking of, again, that kind of like feature kind of creep, there's been some rumors, this one coming from the Times of India, that say that GTA 6 might feature character aging systems, physical and perhaps even emotional, kind of inspired by what happened in Red Dead 2. So talking about more immersion, more gameplay. Again, another rumor, but after the volumetric clouds and stuff we're seeing here, it sounds like a lot's happening in this game. So we'll see about that release date. According to a leak posted by a British retail worker, the ROG Xbox Ally handheld system could start at about £500 in the UK, which is something we're talking about. The system was confirmed during Gamescom by Asus to be released on October 16th, but the price reveal was delayed due to global tariffs. So if this is kind of like some of those prices being leaked now, we have a better handle on what's going to be in that market. But when it comes to the US, how much higher will it be? It's just an interesting rumor. And again, that was just a leak of that price point because we haven't had a single bit of confirmation. Noted Call of Duty leaker The Ghost of Hope claimed on X that Black Ops 7 would be getting 2 zombie modes this next time around, a standard version and a quote-unquote classic one called Cursed. It sounds like Activision is giving people what they want. I know that classic zombies is still pretty sought after and loved by the community, so we'll see if that rumor comes to be when the next Blops is out. That's what I have for news this week, guys.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, that's so good. We're gonna keep doing that. Season 2. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna go back out here into the world, and we're gonna be covering Ace's segment, the tech. So now we got a little bit something different. He's got something in store for you here today. But if it's your first time here, typically the tech is the segment where we break down the mechanics, strategies, and systems that make games tick. Whether it's mastering weapon combos, uncovering hitting systems, or sharpening your skills with pro-level tactics, this is where we hand you the tools to play smarter, not harder. Led by Ace, the tech is all about turning knowledge into power, helping you level up every fight, raid, and mission you take on. Ace, what you got? What special thing do you have us for tonight?
So, as again, seeing as how we're kind of, giving everybody a little teaser, a little taste of what to expect in season 2 of the Gaming Academy podcast. For tonight's session of the tech, we're going to move this from the gym to the lecture hall.
Sick.
Thank you. Now, you see, with everything that you've learned these past weeks and months, all applicable in the field, sometimes it just pays to stop and think about the mechanics. When interacting with video games, it pays to keep in mind that they're just that, games. And part of what makes classics like Final Fight, Dynasty Warriors, Final Fantasy, even stuff like Overwatch and Marvel Legends, part of what makes these classics classic is the gameplay, the mechanics, the bridge between your skill and what happens on screen, dictated by the context of the software you're playing. So, with all that said, this raises the question: what are some of your favorite game mechanics that you've experienced? It could be anything from parries and one frame links to the mathematics and team building of Blitzball, from ATB to X Factor. What are some of the mechanics that have engraved themselves on the sphere grid of your mind and shine as what I like to call positive muscle memories? For me, this is a topic that tends to come up quite a bit because I'm not just into gaming, but I'm also into game design, learning what goes into the technical and the creative prospects, processes behind developing these games. And when the question comes up, invariably, the first thing that always comes up to me is how the classic turn-based systems were expanded on with the death blow combo system in Xenogears. It was like one of the first times I had experienced an RPG that was actually trying to incorporate fighting game mechanics, right? And it just it really it really adds an additional layer to the usual turn-based flair because you know you've got your character's agility and speed, which determines what order they act in, how soon one character is going to act compared to others on your team, or even compared to whatever monsters or whatever opponents you're fighting at the time. But the fact that this system introduced active tiered attacks with stamina management was a game changer for me, because it really got me you know thinking outside the box. It got me incorporating the multiple gaming disciplines that I had enjoyed and gotten and been involved in at the time to make this sort of fusion of gameplay. So, you've got, your starting characters, you're starting with Faye, you're starting with Citan, you eventually pick up Bart, and you're getting used to using your light, your medium, and your heavy attacks. You're getting used to how much stamina each of those types of attacks uses. And then on top of that, as you're leveling up the characters, traditional experience grind, but as you're leveling up the characters and you're using these attacks, you're also building up their skills so that way you can open up these combo finishers. And the combo finishers, it's literally special moves for each of the characters that say if they were in a fighting game, certain certain skills would likely be mapped to, like, quarter circle forward or quarter circle back with you know light, medium, and heavy attack, or if it's separated into punches and kicks, you'd have those options. Now, it was after Xenogears that I had discovered that there were other titles around that time that actually did that. I mean, SNK literally put out 2 RPGs for the PlayStation with the King of Fighters Kyo and what was the other one? Samurai Shodown Bushido Retsuden. But they did pretty much the same thing. They incorporated the special moves for each of the characters into the different little commands that you would use in a turn-based RPG. But for me, the gateway to that was Xenogears. Add to that the fact that all the cool stuff that you were able to do hand to hand while you were on foot translated to gear combat. So now you've got these 10, sorry, more like 15, 20-meter tall machines doing all these amazing martial arts moves that your characters were doing on foot. And as you were learning these moves in these gears, as you were getting used to pulling all this stuff off, you ran across opponents in the game. You ran across bosses and certain encounters with other characters where they were able to hit you with the same stuff that you could use, or hit you with the same stuff that you would eventually be able to use later in the game as you got those characters on your team. So it raised the stakes. And it was like having both sides of your brain firing, like all of their synapses, just experiencing the game and getting used to actually, you know, having those mechanics at your fingertips and interacting with the game in such a unique way. So now that you've heard me, rant about this and go into specifics of, the combat for Xenogears, chat, and I'm also leaving this to you two as well. What are some of your favorite game mechanics that really stuck with you from just, it doesn't matter what game, what genre, but, you know, what's one of those games where the gameplay had you so hooked and it was so ingrained where you could you could pick up any controller and it was like you just automatically knew what buttons you needed to hit in order to start actually, interacting with the game on the previous level that you had back when you had played it years previous.
Nick, you got one?
I'm kind of along with what Ace, no, not Ace, Andre in chat saying. There's a lot of mechanics that pop into my head. Maybe not exactly the same as what you're saying right now, Ace, but things that have kind of stuck with me is either like genre defining, industry defining, like something crazy unique, or just something that I found super interesting that stuck with me through time.
Mhm.
And just to throw out a couple examples of things that really, like that thought that you just gave me now, one of them is the not used enough Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor. I think the way that team used that and how they built it into the game and what it could have been, I think is industry defining. And the fact we didn't get more use out of that or more like Nemesis system in other games like done. I know there was like those rumors about the next Wonder Woman game like leaning heavily on the Nemesis system. Don't know how that would have worked out, but at least for Shadow of Mordor being recognized if you don't kill them, seeing how it like has this iterative effect on the rest of the game. Can you just imagine something like that in a story-based game where decisions are made? Like, think of the next generation of Mass Effect games. If you had like a
Word.
nemesis system in there, like if you went up against someone like Saren and the game we weren't able to kill them at the time, or something happened, and they remember your actions during that and change how they fight against you. Like they know your weaknesses now, they know your strength, they know your build. Like James playing Mass Effect recently, he rolled infiltrator. Say maybe the next version time he comes up against this boss in the series, like it's like the anti-infiltrator. It works against his strengths kind of thing. Just building that into the game. Just like what it could have been is crazy.
I can tell you
Um,
right now, there actually is one particular game that I could think of right off the bat that, you know, has introduced a system that was, and the devs already admitted this, heavily inspired by the Nemesis system in Mordor.
yeah. Yeah. I mean it's just
Like that.
that's just blows my mind, and that just stuck with me, and it's one of those reasons I still kind of go back and look at those games
Yep.
or
And
even replay them from time to time. Not just my love of like Tolkien's universe, but just like that Nemesis system
Mhm.
like really makes that game way more engaging, despite the fact like there's other I'm not saying that game is like the best games ever made kind of thing. It's just the way that Nemesis system is used as a standout
oh no, I
mechanic.
I still go back and play Shadow of Mordor on Steam, and I have Shadow of War on the PS5, and it's for
Yeah.
that reason. But also, Jagos just said it, Warframe.
Yeah.
Like with the with the different factions in Warframe, you can when you generate the Kuvaliches or the Sisters of Parvos or the Technocyte Coda, you are literally generating your own unique nemesis that has abilities that counter the Warframe that you were using at the time.
I think Andre, basic answer, but it's a big deal. Like, there's a couple others I could call out. One of them being the kind of system we were talking about recently. Remember the crash mode of Burnout Revenge, steering your car
Hmm.
like after a wreck. Hilarious, loved it. Fable for me was one of the other ones I was kind of going to talk about. Just the moment, depending on your choice, if you decide to be good or evil, your character's avatar changes. Like your physical appearance changes, how people interact with you change, and they kept that in the other versions of the game too. Like that's something that still kind of sticks with me. It's not anything like super like major, like the KOTOR games had it to some effect too, but it was done in such a way in Fable, like the first one, it just stuck out to me. You just being an evil bastard and eating crunchy chicken in front of people and be called Chicken Chaser and or Arseface, and like slowly becoming evil and growing horns and getting access to evil like abilities. That's just cool. That's just unique, and that just really stuck out. And there's been other morality systems and stuff like that, but I mean, you can go on and on, man. I remember the first time I played Half-Life 2, physics in your game, physics to take out your enemies. Like that's huge. That's different, and that was something that was definitely of the time. And you don't it doesn't feel like you see that kind of like leap anymore. There's tweaks being done. I'm not saying there's not leaps being made with some of these games, but it just feels like with the more and more limited time I have, the more and more saturation of games that are out there, there's less and less things popping up and like super surprising me anymore, like those did. That's my answer. What do you got, James?
What was the question again?
Just some of your favorite like gameplay mechanics.
Oh fuck, dude. I forgot about Max Payne and bullet time, dude. Everyone had bullet time. I still love doing it in Max Payne.
I was gonna say the game that really stands out the most. The first thing I can think of, because I played so many games, according to psnprofiles.org, I played about 735 PlayStation games. Right? It's hard to remember all of them. By the way, I have 9 platinums, not as much as you guys.
Don't look at mine, dude. I have like 1.
What was yours, Ace? 15?
5.
5? How did I get 9?
You have more than both of us combined, dude.
Well,
nice flex.
Maybe I thought he had 15.
Turn that into a $30 t-shirt.
Yeah, I thought they had 15. Anyway, the game that came out that stood out the most is Batman Arkham Asylum. Just because like I remember the story of me going to the GameStop. Anton was like, "Hey, check this Batman game out," and I was like, "Superhero games are garbage, bro." That's literally what I said to him. Trash. Like it's always been that way since the 80s. And he handed me the controller, and I was in that room with those guys, fighting me in a circle, and I had the free flow movement, right? And then the counter was like so satisfying to do, and it was hard enough to where like if you mastered it right, you get a critical, but like easy enough where like you just can't you can't just mash it, but the timing is still important. So the gameplay of that game was really good, combat wise. Then there was the puzzle element to that game, right? So it's like a game for a little bit of everybody. But the thing that really stood out the most, and this is what really cemented your segment to me, Ace, was the boss fight with Mr. Freeze. Chat, do you guys remember the boss fight with Mr. Freeze?
Brother.
And the reason why I bring this up as a defining moment of a really important part of gaming is that you're supposed to defeat Mr. Freeze in like the variety of ways you were able to defeat every villain in the game. Meaning that, let's just say you did like some sort of stealth attack from behind. You try to do that again with Mr. Freeze and he won't let you. So you have to do another way to damage Mr. Freeze until you deplete his health bar. And that was like, to me, I was like, wow, like they're smart about this boss fight. Like, and to me, like if they put that in more games, it would push the gamer to defeat and play the game in a different perspective rather than just mashing buttons, rather than like, like cheesing a move out, right? Something like that. Because now you're utilizing every portion of the game and what they have to offer you. And I think that that puts you out of your comfort zone, but at the same time, it's letting you explore more of the game, right? Now, some may say like, hey, I don't want that, I don't want to do that. But I think it's important that they put those things in the game for a reason. And now you're actually having to use them. So that's a big one for me, the Mr. Freeze boss fight, because I've never fought a boss before where the move that I did originally doesn't work anymore. And I was like, oh no, I'm pretty sure I know like 3 other ways to hit him, but like I have to like think of how to do that. And
Something that not just forced, but really incentivized you,
yes,
digging into your entire bag of tricks.
yeah, and they did it in a way that was like still like, canon to the story. Mr. Freeze is smart, right? He's like, oh, I'm not gonna fall for that again, right? And so you were forced to, deplete his health bar in a variety of different ways of takedowns, as you would in the game. So if I feel like if more games kind of like did that in a way where like we're gonna not force but like creatively design this boss to kind of leverage all the other mechanics in the game that maybe that you don't use as much, I think that's a very important way to kind of like diversify like the gameplay. So yeah.
There's so like I had to do just like a quick Google search just to like what am I missing? I feel like there's so many more. There's some amazing stuff out there that I just completely forgot about. Is just like mechanics that changed how we interacted with games, which is one of the reasons I love this industry and I love experiencing other things. But remember Super Hot, that first person shooter, time only moves when you move? Like that was very unique when that happened. Like having to think your way through those encounters was crazy. Undertale, you actually chose between fighting or befriending every monster. It completely changes like the central choices to the game and its mechanics. I don't know if you two, I mean, James, I know you remember. Ace, I don't know if you remember Eternal Darkness on the GameCube.
Yes.
That
Sanity
game,
mode.
the game that just fucks with you the entire time, like
Yeah.
feels like it shuts off your system at one point, makes you think there's like bugs crawling on your screen, like breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Like the mechanic of that game, just like to mess with your mind, is very, very unique. And we mentioned Half-Life, but what about Portal with the portal gun? Um, Superliminal was that puzzle game that had a bunch of like optical illusions perspective stuff. Stanley Parable was another one that was really popular. I remember playing back in the day, like early Xbox Live, playing Braid, and like the time rewind in order to like solve some of those puzzles was really unique too.
Mhm.
Like there's so much out there. And James, you mentioned, remember Boktai? You have to go touch grass in order to like beat that
Yep.
game. Like
Yeah, they expose yourself to sunlight.
And this right here is why I only stuck with, this is why I only stuck with one for this session, because there's so many more that I could think of right off the bat that I could go into detail on them. And I just thinking about it right now, I easily have maybe another 5 or 6 segments worth of this that I could write up. But we'll be interspersing those with our, rookie level field training guides that you normally get from the tech. But with that being said, to kind of wrap this up, class, I'm gonna kick it back to y'all. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. What are some of, well, like you already have been, honestly. What are some of your favorite muscle memories? Let's keep this mindset going, because this is something that I feel you can take into not only articulating what you enjoy about a game, like say if you actually sat down to write a review, but it also gives you another perspective to really look at creating or contributing to game development. Because I mean, aside from just, seeing new blood and seeing new talent coming in from the professional side, I feel like the more that, the more that us as customers and as gaming enthusiasts, the more we actually sit down and talk about the specific things that we actually like about a lot of these games that we're flocking to, I feel like word is going to get back to the developers, which will in turn help them create more of what we want to see. So it's that positive feedback loop, But just a little something to keep in mind. But that being said, that ends this first round of muscle memories.
Is this a preview of what to expect in season 2 of the tech? we're just gonna have to wait.
Set and spike. Nailed it.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Appreciate that, Ace. Thanks for the that beautiful segment.
Anytime.
All right, class. Here we go. All right. Well, it's been 50 episodes, and I know Andre's been like shouting that out in chat. Fantastic. I don't know if No Shoes is still here. That'd be awesome. If you are, stick around after the final boss. I want to kind of give you a shout out. Also there, No Shoes, and where they can find you. I actually, I was hoping that, and this is partially my fault, invite all the guests we had this year to kind of like come on, but I know like maybe that's something we can do more often next year.
Maybe that's for Hundo.
Yeah, exactly, or something like that. Have like a super, Smash All Stars of Gaming Academy, and then and maybe you'll see us on some other channels on YouTube. You never know. That's why, like, it's good to network. But all right, let's go to the final boss moment here. Let me set this stage up. Where we going? Where we going? Let's put this up here. I can't see that. Oh well, let's go down here. That's good enough. There we go. I was trying to do the same pose like as the image, so I'll do that. But that's okay. All right, guys. If it's your first time here, and some, I know you guys in chat, it's not your first time here, but we wrap up every class with the final boss, a motivational closer where we take lessons from gaming and apply them to real life. Now, think of it as XP for your mindset, inspiring stories, clever metaphors, and wisdom from the games we love. All designed to help you level up outside of the controller. So, all right. So I actually even set up some music for this. Let me know if it's too loud. I'll tone it down. How's that? That pretty good?
Maybe down just a
All right. A little bit. A smooshing.
All right, let's hear what you have to say.
Hold on. Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Ace, maybe too quiet now?
A little too quiet.
Okay. How about now?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Here you go. This is the 50th final boss. Well, we started final boss kind of mid-season, but this is it. Chat, this one's for you. Students, this isn't just any class. This is class number 50. 1 year of Gaming Academy. 1 year of grinding XP together. 1 year of debates, history lessons, news drops, and boss fights. Now, and like any epic campaign, we've reached the end of our first run. But you already know what comes next. We're not stopping here. We're unlocking New Game Plus. New Game Plus is special. You start again, but not from scratch. You bring every lesson you've learned, every scar you've earned, and every victory you celebrated. The enemies get tougher, sure, but so do you. In gaming, New Game Plus is where the real test begins. And the same goes for us. Year 1 of the Academy was about building foundations, finding our rhythm, experimenting with new segments, and growing our community. Now, year 2, this is where the bosses hit harder, where the challenges get real, but it's also where the best loot drops. The rare opportunities, the co-op raids we couldn't tackle before. We're not resetting. We're respawning together, stronger than ever before. Now, and just like in any New Game Plus, you don't run solo. You run with your party. To Nick, the lore master who keeps our newsfeed sharp. To Ace, the strategist who breaks down the tech and the culture. And to every guest, every co-op partner who joined us along the way. And most of all, to you, the students of the Gaming Academy. You've been here in chat, in the comments, on the streams, grinding every week. The milestone isn't ours alone, it's ours together. This makes it personal. Celebrate your friends, celebrate your wins, celebrate your achievements, especially your community. Now, this is your final test for Season 1. Let me get it ready for you guys. What is your new game plus? What XP are you going to carry forward into the next chapter of your story? What ending are you chasing this time? Because life isn't about beating the game once. It's about finding the courage to press New Game Plus. Guys, this is only the beginning. The bosses are waiting, but so are we. Welcome to year 2 of the Gaming Academy. This has been your final boss. It's been a pleasure to have you guys here in year 1. But it's not over yet. I got some announcements for y'all. So, I've been working on this for a long time. Let me see if I can share this. But you can now... Should have got this ready. You can now officially buy your Gamer Quotient products live now at our store at GQAzndood-shop.fourthwall.com. Right? So if you've been wanting to buy a t-shirt, a mug, a hat with a Gamer Quotient logo on it, or just some stickers, pop it all on your swag. You got it all here now, right? And not only that, since you guys have been awesome, I'm going to hook you guys up with a promo code year1, get 10% any orders over $75. All right? So that is, what we've been working on this year. We got a shirt designed by Nick over here. He's the one to design this next class lion graphic tee. And then if you want the official Gamer Quotient shirt, comes in different colors: navy blue, off-white, white, whatever your flavor is. Right now, this Welcome to the Next Class is white. And that's based off the Sega Genesis.
Welcome to the next level.
Yeah, welcome to the next level.
You're welcome.
Pretty good.
And listen,
I saw the chance, dude. I was like, I just want to do this.
This hat is fire. Like, look, the red one's so sick. Look at this red one.
I need
right? That white one, right? It's pretty cool too. But this orange one, though, let's go. That's the one you want. That's my favorite one.
And you know what? One thing that I hope we actually get the chance to do, I don't know if you were already going to mention this, GQ, but look, if we actually get some, if y'all decide to just like send over some pictures, post them on the Facebook group or in the Discord, if you pick up any of the merch, let us see you in it. Let us see you repping the class. Let us see you repping the academy.
Absolutely.
I mean, even more than whatever money you spend on the merch, it's seeing y'all show that love and that support for us that is going to carry us so much further.
Does the website have an option to donate to battery packs or Ace's fire alarm?
Right here, buddy.
I legit will do that because it's been multiple times.
Like just throw some batteries at my door, okay?
How much is a night volt nowadays? I don't even know.
For Ace's fire alarm.
Brother.
So guys, that's kind of what I want to share with you guys. Been working really hard on this. This is just the beginning. I want to see what this test run of merch does. If we can get more people in the community rocking it. I know my friends are eager to buy shirts and hats to support, and I know you guys are too. Fantastic. This remember that code year1 gets you 10% off. It's unlimited use until the promo's done. And some news for you guys. This is our a last episode for a while, so we're gonna be taking a break here for about 4 weeks. We're not gonna be gone for too long, so won't no Gaming Academy for 4 weeks, guys. We all need a break, right?
Summer
But
vacation.
but we're still gonna be working. I'll be putting out the hits on reels, so you'll be seeing more reels of us on YouTube, our clips. I know Jagos has been really good at clipping a bunch of funny stuff. I saw that in the Discord.
The
Um,
clip master.
yeah, so more of that, please. But
For
I'll be personally.
Ace's like utterance of that noise. Thank you for that, Jagos. Like spot on, man.
But I'll be making just clips for advertising the channel more. Like next year too, I want more people in chat, just more of everything. We're gonna need your help on that. I know you guys have been really good.
Yeah, share the Discord with friends, man. Let's grow that little community we have there. I love seeing the stuff we come up
And
with. And Andre, I see you're talking about the SNK tier list again. Get some more feedback on that.
and whatever more people and more cohorts that I have, as far as the folks that I interact with on streams and everything, yeah, I'll be reaching out to them saying, hey, we got a weekly show. Let's get some more people in just to come in, hang out, interact with the class. Maybe even have some of them join us as guests. There are also a few other folks I've been thinking about reaching out to, but no spoilers.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at my new everyday gig, I mean, if people finding out that, I was in the industry and I love games and they love games, and maybe we'll have some different perspectives come in.
Yeah. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. This is, like I said, this is not the end. This is just the beginning of year 2. We talk about taking breaks all the time, resting up and making sure we're recharged and revived. And we got more stuff coming for you. I wanted to give a shout out to No Shoes for his latest video on YouTube. I was watching him play this with Jim Squints, his like streaming partner, and this is like a Contra homage called Iron Meat.
Oh, that
meat
looks amazing.
And
that sounds like a great gamer tag too.
It's literally Contra 3 Alien Wars, but like instead of Red Falcon, it's red meat. So yeah, the aliens are like just meat, and then like they absorb. Yeah, they look at that. There's like soldiers that are turned into meat. So it's super cool.
I am invested.
No, I was like, this game looks cool. Like, and it's got a lot of parodies to Contra 3. It knows its audience. Like, I think there's a part. Is this part 2? There's a part where like fingers come out of a wall and it spreads open, like in that stage, right? So like, and they have hover bikes. So
yeah, look, I'm gonna need to get my hands on this, Steel Assault, and Neon Inferno. There
you go. And yeah, and maybe we could do like a retro class or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. And if you guys are in Discord, is there something particular you want us to cover? You let us know. We'll make it a thing. It's just what we're here for. We want to entertain you guys and share our love and knowledge with everybody. But yeah, that's Iron Meat. With that said, I guess do you guys have anything else for us here? Like anything left in the tank per se?
Honestly, I just want to say, like, bottom of my heart, y'all. Thanks for an excellent year.
Beep. Bottom of my heart. Bottom of my heart. Beep.
Jagos
We're gonna get Jagos on that again.
Jagos with the eagle eye here. Yeah, Konami code. Kind of. Look how many lives they have. Oh well, you don't see it anymore. But on easy mode, you start off with 30 lives. Now tell me they don't know that they're copying Contra with that.
Oh, they know.
It's so fucking funny.
But it's been a hell of a year. It's been a hell of a lot of fire alarm beeps. But it's been a blast, and
I haven't laughed
not just
in a
with the
while.
new stuff that I'm going to be bringing to the table, but I'm looking forward to everything that we've got planned for this upcoming year. October, we're going to take that time to rest up, recharge, and we're going to come back and hit it hard.
All right. I'm gonna say any last words, but any last statements for year 1, guys, before we move on to year 2?
Since we talked about New Game Plus, best New Game Plus, say it in the comments, but I still think it's Nier Automata.
I started it and I just like 2 hours in, I was like, I'm gonna play something else. I don't know what
That's
it is.
fine. I'm talking about New Game Plus, but
Oh, gotcha. Well, here we go. Here's the last moment of year one. All right. Also, we're gonna be celebrating with the new ending for tonight. GG's. See you next year.
thanks everyone.
And until
Later.
November, class dismissed.
That's not the right one. Hold on. I'll get you the right one. Well, here's first of all, here's it is.
Mission complete.
I can't believe I did it wrong. Did I not save this? I was
Yeah.
doing it the whole time.
And hey man, end season 1 on a high note.
Right? This is good. This is the new ending.
I like the jazzy NYC subway.
Yeah, it's not Jazzy NYC though. Now I can't remember what it was. I gotta look it up. Hang out with us here for a second. Talk about stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, there it is. I had to look into my search because I thought I had it ready. Here's your new ending. Here's your new ending, guys.
Well, I mean, hell, if we could just find a instrumental of the actual end credits theme from Third Strike, if we could just find the instrumental for that, that would be great for a closer too.
Well, this song is called "Final Results," which is the best part about it. So,
oh yeah, fair enough.
All right, beep. Later, guys.